Hi cuties, welcome in. Hope you're all having a nice Friday evening. How are all of you pretty people doing? I guess, are you for real, Algendo? If so, I guess Algendo is not doing too well. What happened? You were still playing yesterday, no? Yeah, I figured. I've seen you in Moose chat earlier. I was watching a bit while I was having dinner earlier, and I had to do some chores and get ready. But yeah, I figured you're still over there as well. I mean, I will say very understandable. In fact, I started watching Moose before I even played the game. Is one of the people whose content I enjoyed so much that I would say he's one of the reasons I bought the game in the end, because I guess I was watching him and Suli and Infrastructurist, really. And then I enjoyed all of them so much, or enjoyed watching the game so much, I should say, that eventually I caved in and also bought it. Before I bought it, I downloaded CS1 and tried to play CS1 for like half an hour, but after having watched people play CS2 for a long time, it just didn't do it for me. And glad to hear, Algando, it's at least just your workstation. And I guess with your workplace, maybe you should be able to snatch a nice GPU from there. So I guess Argentinian prices, as with everything tech related, are gonna be not very nice. But how are all of you cuties doing today? And I guess, Gaga, you mean me streaming either too early or too late? I mean, yes, lately I would totally agree with that. I just kinda had a little time this week, so it was pretty much the only times I could manage, so better than anything.
I wish we had a cactus.
I mean, I also wish we had a cactus, and maybe, who knows? I think Sunny is lying to me, but Sunny keeps telling me that we'll get a cactus, which I'm sure he's just playing with my feelings, but who knows? Maybe he's right, maybe he's wrong. See, actually, this we don't like. Why is this happening? We have to have a look at that. Because that's the passing of the... Okay, actually, it's great that we see this. Because if this is not our own doing, but the actual path of the building, then we're gonna adjust the seating to where they're walking. Because she walked here right close to the building. I guess we can just move the tables further away. So that was actually very nice to see. I wanna recheck, but yeah, no, this is a functional building, and I don't think we placed any blocks here. So I do think this is the actual vanilla pathing. Elgendo, since you were talking about LODs recently, you know what one of the things is that makes me the most angry about the game LODs? Can you guys see this? I hate this so much. It's happening in so many characters where as soon as you zoom out, the LOD of the hair is so bad that you have half balding people or skinheads. I absolutely despise this happening. Welcome in, Clovis. A long time no see. Happy to have you here. How are you doing and how is your weekend? And that you would finally manage to resolve all of your computer issues. And again, we're being a bit quick and dirty here. I just wanna see, because we have those people walking around, so I actually wanna make sure that we have the seating in a way where we don't mess with their passing. Here they walk in the street, this is very nice. And here they keep walking kinda close to the building. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that they cut some of the LODs. I always have to say that because I know people complain about the game having looked a bit worse after the last patch when they cut a lot of the LODs. But I always have to add the caveat, and I think it's an important caveat, that that update also made the game of most people a lot more stable than it was prior. So yes, it does really suck, and I would also like to have the prettier LODs back. And I hope maybe they can work on a bit more polished things so we can get it right, but yeah, it's a bit unfortunate because generally I'd rather have an LOD that's a bit uglier and my game not crashing. Obviously, in an optimal world, we'll just have a better optimized game, but if that's not an option, then I'd rather have ugly LODs over regular crashes. And nice! Happy to hear that, Clovis. What was the issue with your computer in the end? Because I heard you talk about your issues, but when you were talking about it, you seem to still have it in service somewhere. And I at least didn't get what the issue in the end was. Yeah, I've seen that. I don't want to do that on stream, to be honest, because I'm scared it might crash us. Maybe that's something we can do before we end the stream anyways, because if I crash then, I can just raid out, but otherwise I'd rather wait. Okay, they have a pass here. Can we see all of the passes? We can't really. Because I'd like to see if they also walk past this side. But here we'll have a lot less people, so it's gonna be hard for us to see. Well, I'm curious actually, because the LODs you posted today in your Discord, if anybody is curious what I'm talking about, Elgando has a very cute Discord. Not as cute as mine, of course, because my Discord is the cutest Discord. But Elgando has a very cute Discord, and he's been doing some tests with LODs recently. And some of the results looked shocking, to be honest. I've never noticed LODs as bad as what you showed in your server while playing. Which might just be me not paying attention or having bad eyes, but I've not seen it as horrible as what you showed. I like it. I like when people rant. I like it if people rant respectfully and don't hit too low, but otherwise I think it's fair and reasonable to have a little rant about the game sometimes. As much as we do love it, it also has a lot of weaknesses that sometimes you can get annoyed about. Oh, really? It was actually caused by a virus, after all. I thought you actually had, had some kind of hardware issues, where you literally had to replace some parts in your computer. But I guess it was purely software then. But anyways, glad that it works again, so... If I recall correct, you said this weekend is the weekend where you start diving into city streams again as well. If so, then very nice. Oh, you did not see it? Really? But that's crazy that just the Elgato programs can literally bog your PC down as much as you had issues with it in the end. That seems a bit... worrying, to be honest. A single program should not be able to mess with you as much. But regardless, glad you fixed it. I'm not entirely sure yet what we'll do here in the back. I don't really want to have this an open area. maybe we even fence this off a little, because the people who are sitting here eating, I guess, should not watch right onto the loading bay. Not entirely sure about the back, and in general, I'm not entirely sure yet how bollard heavy we make this area. The more I look at it, I do think we're gonna go very bollard heavy. Is that still the current McDonald's slogan? I have to admit, I go to McDonald's so very rarely that I'm not sure. Cause I think, and this is actually not the best example for it, because here I was pretty straightforward. I think the table sets make a giant difference visually, because they're too clean. So this is something where one of my well, not one of, the very first viewer on my channel, on my very first test stream, who pretty much sticked around since, but is generally kinda busy because he gotten a kid. He told me that he thinks it looks silly to use the sets because they are a lot cleaner, and I have to agree with him. I think the normal place sets, they are too clean. They look too uniform. The tables are too similar. So it's a lot of annoyance that it adds, but I do think it's totally worth it visually, even though a little painful. I'm not gonna deny that. Also here, this is a pack that's still half broken that I'm using, so don't be confused if every once in a while we have an error pop up that's complaining. That will keep happening and nothing I can really do about it because I'm too lazy to fix the pack myself. And welcome in Chaos and Poplar and Jay. How are all of you pretty people doing tonight? Poplar has actually not hinted much, but I've seen Poplar say a few things in different chats or streams about the water simulation, and while the water simulation is not the most interesting part to Los Vagos or for our build, but I'm always very interested in drama and NDA or NDA secrets. So anything I can get my hands on, I'm very happy. Yeah, that arrow pop-up, the reason for this is a very simple one. This is an old decal pack, and in the very past, in the early days of EIA or Extra Assets Importer, it did not matter that how the pixel sizes of these packs were. And then after a specific update, there was a change where now all of the decals in this game have to have a power of 4. And this pack never really got updated, so some of these decals don't have a power of 4, and then if you take one that doesn't have the power of 4, obviously now I want to find one that's broken. We can't. Typical. Absolute typical. What the heck? Now I literally... Okay, there we go, finally. This error is an uncritical one, right? All this is saying is this decal cannot be loaded into the game because the pixel size of it is wrong currently. It does not break your game, it doesn't do anything, so it's not harmful. I could also be motivated and just fix the pixel sizes of it, but then am I motivated enough to do that? I don't really know if I am. But it's not anything problematic. In general, I think decal packs can't really cause big issues in a sense of breaking your game. It's one of the things why with other mods I'm a bit more careful, but with anything decal or surface related, I don't mind too much, because really they can't cause much issues. Worst thing, they break one day and you have to delete them, but that's all pretty much. I know, of course, I did not mean to throw you under the bus, Poplar. That was not meant like that at all, but obviously, even with what's public knowledge, let's say I did not pay attention too much to the water simulation news, so everything I can get as info, I'm still happy for. And I mean, you're not the only one in the boat. Welcome in, Sunny, cutie, as always, because I think Sunny is literally the one who's been teasing me the most. Obviously, Sunny would never say anything NDA related, but goddamn, prior to any recent patch, especially the last one, Sunny kept teasing me so bad in front of the last one. And I have to admit, I said it already in my Discord, but when I was watching last Sunny's video, I had to giggle a lot because Sunny kept... As I'm only stating what you guys can see, as you guys can clearly see, what's visual to you is this and this. I found it hilarious because, of course, it's a bit tricky for you guys to navigate around the NDA, and I perfectly get that. But it's still amusing as a viewer to see that, so very, very funny. Uh-huh. Curious. And Sunny, since you asked me the last time for New York recommendations, and I said Little Russia, I was thinking about it a bit more, and I stand by my word. Maybe it's a bit cold already. I don't know how the weather is, so obviously it's not going to be a nice beach day. But Brighton Beach and Little Russia is absolutely stunning. So if you have the time, it's a bit of a longer trip. But if you have the time to go to Brighton Beach, I would absolutely recommend you to go to Brighton Beach. Probably one of my favorite places in New York. And welcome in, Yoko. I've not gotten to it yet, but as I hope, or I think probably everybody or most people in my chat know, Nyoko is a vivid aviation enjoyer and keeps uploading a ton of planes to Paradox Mod. And I've been a bit reluctant using the bigger ones, which is not because the models aren't great, it's because my computer is trash. And I'm a bit worried that I bogged down my performance. And many of them have been a bit too big for my taste. But in the last, I think yesterday actually, Nyoko added a Cessna. And I'm telling you guys, that thing is an absolute stunner. I need to figure something out. But I'm fairly sure we have an actual proper airport already. But I'm fairly sure we're gonna use that small Cessna that Nyoko gave us and build some kind of small hidden narco airport that could maybe get used by Gaga's scooter gang or some of the other bad criminals in Los Vagos. But that model is so small and so cute that it finally allows an unrealistically small scale. I know, I'm sorry, all actual aviation enjoyers. But I like shrinking stuff in this game, and I will absolutely shrink the airport to unrealistic size as well. And I'm gonna be very happy with that. A seaplane would also actually be really cool. I mean, I'm sure that would actually be doable. Are there seaplanes in Flight Sim Nyoko? And welcome in, Tati. Nice to see you. I would love to see somebody walk on this side, because I'm not sure we can keep the table placement here. Because we just seen that here at this side of the building we had to move the tables a bit because people kept walking right next to it. And now I'm a bit unsure if we'll have the same thing happen here. But since this does not see the highest amount of visitors, at least so far, it's a bit difficult to see. Curious. But that means a seaplane model could be a possibility, because honestly I think that's a great idea, especially with bridges and ports come in, probably a seaplane would be an absolutely amazing fit to have a build around it. I mean, I know that we have a kind of an attempt at a seaplane. Can't blame Jay for it. I know Jay made a seaplane for Picana, and it does not look bad. It looks pretty good for the choices we have in measures, but obviously it looks not as clean as a proper seaplane mesh. So yeah, actually I think that's a really cool idea for bridges and ports. I'm not sure if it's my lack of brain cells, my lack of education, or my lack of proper English vocabulary, but I don't know what a polywalk is. Which probably embarrassing of me to admit that, but then it is a truth, so might as well admit what's the truth. And I know I've been a bit disappointing with bowler times lately. Today we're not gonna be disappointing with bowler times. Today is finally the day for a proper big bowler time. I know it's been a while, I know I've been a letdown. I cannot let you guys down forever, so here, this entire truck stop is gonna be an absolute
Bowler time.
bowler paradise. I'm still a bit sad. I love this bollard. I really do think. I also really like all of the bollards we had prior. I just... There's two things where I just cannot say no to, and it's bollards and decals in this game. I wish we had color variation on it. Yes, the gray is very fitting and it looks super nice, but would I be mad if I could use this bollard in black as well? I totally wouldn't. And you guys still have to educate me. What is a polywalk? And why do I not know what that is? Yeah, M&D, sorry if you're gone already, I missed that message, but yeah, have an absolute wonderful good night, and yeah, if you're tired and exhausted, then appropriate to go to bed earlier as well. I guess it's a plane, okay. I guess it's a seaplane. I guess I could have figured that by context, but then you guys are not watching me because I'm such a smart guy. And I guess I've proven that again with my very eloquent question. I tried random mastery once, and I would very much agree with Miyoko. That just seems like a program to or a mod to debug your game and destroy your FPS, but you will fix it eventually. I like the sound of that. See, Nyoko, for a while I was scared that we were gonna lose you in the city community because you seem tilted and like you just wanna play Flight Sim, but from what I'm reading, I'm happy that we get to keep you, I guess. I mean, this is gonna be extremely over-bollarded, so probably this is a bit overkill. But I do think it's appropriate, especially in a place like this, in a truck stop where people somewhat fast drive past here. You don't really want to get run over. I'm not sure, probably here it's a bit overkill. No, actually, the more I think about it, the more I think it is appropriate to bring this across all of these front plazas here. just because they're right next to the street, and it actually is dangerous to walk there otherwise. What mod I will eventually have to give in, that I always was a bit scared of, because I generally am scared of anything that adds any negative performance impact. I am still not an InfoLoom user, and I know that's a bit embarrassing, and everybody is using InfoLoom. But I have to admit, while I like the simulation aspect of the game, I don't usually dive into it super heavily. So I never fully had the need for it so far. But every once in a while, I feel like there are things that I would like to know from InfoLoom. So I think sooner than later, that's something I should install as well. And honestly, I know this is still very far from being finished and very undetailed, but I absolutely adore how American this looks. Like, maybe that's just me, and I know this is a British gas station, but just these fast food signs and all of the advertising back there, beautiful. And all of that right after you see the first thing in the city as a car dealer. I'm starting to dig this. One of the things we actually will have to dive into eventually is building proper signage here. I don't want this to be highway signage. This is not a highway, but I do think it's appropriate because pretty much all industry traffic is gonna drive left here, and this is towards center. So I'd like to have one of those overhead signs here that splits the traffic between industry and center. And sadly, we guys were looking at this one of my last streams, and I was saying I'm playing around a bit to see if we can build a very small and compact bridge. And I actually like the way this looks, but now comes the big but. This has a big problem. Look what happens. It literally disappears. It's not that it looks worse or anything, it straight up disappears after a certain distance. It's sad, really, because I would love to build a bridge with this, but then especially a bridge feels like it's something that you need to see from far away as well. And I wouldn't mind if it looks a bit worse, but it's like, you guys can see this, right? Oh, I guess it's in a... We're in an ad break right now, so I'm gonna wait for the ad break, but I find this pretty infuriating. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. This is yours. This is literally your mesh, so I'm not entirely sure. You know better than me. But it's not in the editor. This is built in game. I've just thrown your mesh, this one here, together and sorted it into bridge. So I'm not entirely sure why that happens. I guess it's just a normal mesh, and I guess you maybe could just throw away the LOD from this. I don't know. Because again, for some things I don't mind that they hide. I think the thing that frustrates me the most that disappears is the dead vegetation. Like, if you look at all of these dead vegetation things that we have here, as soon as we zoom out a bit, now all of the dead vegetation disappeared, and it's really sad. I get it, they can't show anything forever, but yeah, that it completely gets cooled off of getting shown is kinda harsh, I think. So if you would combine all of that into a single asset in the mesh, they would still behave the same, because it, cools depending on what you use, right? That was my question. Okay, but you would say maybe, so I guess you also don't know. But that would be a curious experiment, because this is a 10 out of 10 element. Like, this is a super cute bridge. Yes, it would be for a single lane, right? Like, this is a one-way bridge, doesn't work both ways. But for that, I think it would be really cool. But then I don't know how to use that appropriately, so I'm not sure. I could actually try to put that together in the editor. I just hate the editor. I know the editor can be fun sometimes, but I don't enjoy going into the editor. If I'm in the editor, sometimes I don't hate myself. Usually I hate myself, but depends a bit on the day, really. And yes, here this is not really pretty, but I think it's better than these people looking on all of this garbage back here. So I'd like to hide it, and welcome in, Acht. Nice to see you here. I actually had to giggle. I don't even know who I was watching you, but I was watching you in somebody's chat or in somebody's stream, and they were German as well. But they pronounced Acht in English, which I mean fair, because we're speaking English generally. But I was a bit caught off guard from it, because it sounds weird and hilarious in pronounced in English. We will do that for science in a moment. I want to do one thing here, and then we are gonna proceed and try exactly what Jay just told us to try, because I think that's a good idea, actually. Just want one of these here, and then sadly here we get a white base, so we are gonna go in, transform tool, and just lower it a single step to get rid of that white base. Yeah, I mean, the reason, Poplar, the reason I mainly dislike the editor, and I think that's also something specific to how I play, I think the editor can be fun. I think it's generally a bit overly complicated, but my problem is not the editor myself. My main problem with the editor is that I cannot load in there on my main playset. My main playset is too heavy. If I load into the editor with my main playset and I type something in the search bar, I will crash to desktop without question, right? So I don't love that. And I would go into the editor way more, because I think it's super cool to build some reusable assets in there. If we could just do it now, right? If I could be like, hey guys, we need the following right now. Let's load into the editor real quick and build it, and then we keep on building our build, right? Perfectly fine. I would love that. That would be a nice experience. But that's not the thing. I have to close my game. I have to switch to my editor playset. Then I load into the editor. And then in the editor, I do what I want. Then I have to close my game again, switch back to my main playset. And then is when I start playing the game, right? And since my playset is fairly heavy, that is a solid, I don't even want to put a number to it, but it's probably a solid 40 minutes if we have to restart the game twice and change playsets and everything, like, or half an hour maybe. But I cannot do that on stream, right? Like, you all don't want to watch me be in a loading stream for 40 minutes. So, yeah, I don't know. It's not great, to be honest. And how do I do this? Because I want to recolor this, but I'm actually being silly. I guess we just find an element with a color that's kind of similar to what we want. Because I don't know how, we cannot pick with recolor one of these net lanes, we cannot choose it, so I can't take any of the colors of those items. We actually need a need our own item. Maybe we can take this chair, place this here, and then with this we should be able to take recolor and put it to this and this. I'm sure there was a better way for how I did this. I don't know the better way, so we're doing it the way we did it here. I just want both of those to be the same. Yeah, I also have a very light editor playset, right? And I don't have any problem in the editor when I'm on my light editor playset. But what frustrates me is changing the playset, right? Because changing the playset from playing, I'm in the game, now I see something that I want to have. I'm like, hey guys, we want to build, I don't know, a table element out of all of those and some shade or something. Then I cannot just do that quickly because I have to change playset off of my main playset. And sadly, that adds so much annoyance to the editor for me that I don't really move my ass in there unless I need something really bad that is not out there and Jay doesn't feel like building for me. Then I feel forced to go in the editor, and then I also don't hate my time in there. I can have fun in the editor. But I need to want something really bad to be willing to go into the editor, really. Now this is a bit a question. If we shade all of them up, the more I look at it, the more I think it's more interesting visually, though maybe less logical, to just throw them through here a bit at random. Some people like living in the sun, some don't, and I actually have some. There has been a few interesting things happening, because especially my more regular viewers surely notice, if they have not watched my last stream, that there is a lot of things missing here. In fact, there was an entire town up here. Not really a town, we just thrown something down. I deleted everything and my game is running a lot better. I am on a pretty bad computer, so my game never runs amazing. But I can literally tell, because we halved our population. We were at like 42,000 before we Thanos snapped that city out of existence. And now we're at 20,000, and I can very much feel that my game is running smoother than prior. Which is curious, because generally my CPU is never running on full load when we're playing, because our simulation is so far. But my GPU is dying, so interestingly, I think what makes us run better is not even having half the population, but I think what makes us run better is not having all of those big building models back there. Because then my graphic card keeps having to load that in. I'm not sure if I'm guessing correctly there, but it does feel like it is not due to the simulation, because otherwise my CPU should have been higher in loads. But I feel like it's actually my graphic card that gets relaxed a little. Oh, heck yeah, that's great, Urban, because for anybody wondering what Urban is talking about, Urban has been looking at building a new computer, mainly for Transport Fever, I guess, but maybe with a new computer we can also lure Urban into playing the better Transport Fever, which obviously I'm being ironic here, but in my opinion, the better Transport Fever definitely is Cities Skylines, and if you have an appropriate computer to play this game, maybe we can lure you in. And he's gonna build a new computer soon, and I've been helping him a little, looking over parts and what makes sense, so maybe soon we have a new city streamer, or we still have a Transport Fever streamer, but then we will have a Transport Fever streamer with a smooth running game and not a stuttery FPS mess. So glad for you, nice to hear. In fact, I'm a little jealous, because the computer you are getting yourself is definitely better than what I'm playing on. So while I was looking at the parts for you, I was a bit like, God damn it, I want as well. And let me follow up what Jay just said. Actually, that makes sense. I wanna also, I forgot about that. I wanna check what you said, because that indeed is a good try for this. If we take a pillar, I can't tap today, by J, and then we take a very short one. For some reason, they're at the end here. That we take the 6 pillar, and we take the very long one. I guess which is this one, and maybe we take a middle one just to have a bit more comparison. And now the question is, will these hide at different distances, or will they load an LOD at different distances? And the answer is no. Even here, it's hard to see, probably even harder for you guys on stream, but it's still there. It hides the shadow. Actually, we can see that very visually. If we zoom out past this step, it hides the shadow, but it hides the shadow on all of them. And even on this distance, the small one is still perfectly visible. It's hard to see. Again, probably even harder for you guys on stream, but it's right here on top of my cursor. So I don't think the size of the mesh is what defines when the LOD shows. I think it's just that any mesh probably has its own attributes for when it does that. I don't know, I'm just guessing. You probably know better than me. Yeah, your test has been not successful. And I don't know why I always check here, because it's in here. Today, a lot of this is going to be us slowly moving around, because I do think this area is in a pretty solid spot in general, and starting to look cute, but we have not really done much detail work here. So we will spend quite a bit of time of the detail work. And actually, one of the things I've been wondering if we do it here. And Jay, actually, I wanted to ask you about it, and it's nice because you're in chat. You built this garage, and I think this garage is generally pretty cute. I have 2 problems with this garage. Both of these, I would assume, are a fairly easy fix. I'm just guessing, maybe they aren't. But one thing from the front that I don't like so much is that the shutter is pretty much at the same level at the pillars. I think it would look a lot nicer and more detailed if you would move the shutters a little further back. I'm not sure if that's possible with the meshes you use, so maybe there is a reason it is like this. But if it's possible, I think it would look a lot nicer and give the model more depth if there would be a bigger margin here to the back. And the thing that actually sadly is a bit of a deal breaker for me on this model is that no matter, maybe I can recolor it, that's what we have not tried yet, but if you look at the normal color variations, sadly the back wall is always incredibly different than everything else. Maybe you like that and that was what you intended. I think I would prefer if they were more similar. I guess we can color, actually we can kinda try to fix this. It's together with the roof, but regardless. I mean, I actually like it better. It's not flawless, but yeah, that is fine. I am always complaining. I think if anybody knows how much I complain, then it's probably Elgando, because I love all of Elgando's decals, but I generally have something to complain about in the first version, so you're not wrong. And here I want to try something that I should have looked at again. Maybe we will not get this down perfectly. Yeah, that's also fine. I can do it myself. then I'll do that. But back to something like this. This small change, moving the shutter back and forth, cost me 2 game restarts and 30 to 40 minutes. That's why I hate the editor. Because if we could just go into the editor now, change this, and load back into my game, I would like the editor a lot more than I do like this. But what I was about to say, this I seen a long time ago. I believe Sully used this trick in one of his builds, or Dome. I'm not entirely sure who of those two originally used this. And we use this clipping technique for our mines quite a bit as well. But I do want to steal the nice idea that either Dome or Sully had. Maybe the placement is not optimal, and we'll move that around in a moment. But I want one of these underground facilities where people can work in. So this looks a bit weird. We're making a hole here, and now we're gonna find a way for us to any good-looking wall, maybe just a French wall, really. That should be quick to work with here at least. But yeah, any wall we can use to close that thing off from the bottom. This one is so big already. This one should be fine, but we want the rubble one. The wrong side. Ah, yeah, that's why I was wondering why it looks so different. And maybe this wall is not optimal. And goddamn, I hate the wobbling of this wall when you move it around. Makes it a bit more difficult to place. But let's try. We're gonna have to use Move It and EDT to get them properly into place in a moment. But we're just trying to give this. God, the wobbling is driving me mad. So difficult to put them in the right position if they keep wobbling as soon as you move your mouse around a little. Why is this happening? I always was wondering this. What is technically different about these walls than other assets that these wobble around like this when we move them? I guess so, but even at the end of my play session, I wouldn't just have to load out of the game. I would have to close the game, change my playset, and open the game again. You're right, and obviously it's not 2 reload, but still 1. Which I just wish I wouldn't have to do any of that. Okay, but what we want is pretty much this. We just want to give this a border. So we actually get one of these holes, and then we have to look around a bit. I think probably we need to adjust the orientation of it a bit more to make this... I think it's a bit too small looking at the vehicle size in this game, but we'll figure that out. I have never tried building something like this before, so this is us learning together, and I'm a slow learner, as you guys know, so this might take us a moment to get right. If you've good ideas or recommendations for matches or anything, always scream and let me know. I'm just gonna try around with what do we have here. This is a bit annoying because here the terrain is not optimal. So this one actually is a tad too low. See, if we look in the wrong angle, we get something poking through. We can just trick that if we take it and move it a lot further here. We'll keep that one small pixel there. I don't mind it. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Emotional.
I mean, you do make a point. If they don't wobble in the editor, maybe. But I don't think could you use a clipping surface in the editor? Is this something you could build in the editor, using a surface like this and then combine it with other things? Yeah, in general, we're not doing any of this in a clever order. I also should definitely not have placed decals here. Because if we would not have the decals, it would be a lot easier to choose this with the, how's it called? Like take the transform tool instead of move it to be a bit more accurate. But I should have thought about that earlier. Now at this point, I think we just suffer through the silly thing we did and place all of this, or maybe we have to go back and delete quite a bit of it. I'm not entirely sure yet. And I guess this probably is even already too deep. And the more I look at it, the more I think, I'm not sure if we have a fitting asset for that, but it would actually be really cute to give this a small staircase where people can actually walk down on this side. And I do think we can get that to be a reality if we take this wall and move it half, somewhere like this, and then I hate this. I hate this so much that we cannot imagine we could take decals off Picker here. But whatever, we're just gonna find the same French wall manually then through wall rub, I guess, should bring us there. There we go, and then we have to turn it in the right way. Or actually we don't even, we just place it wherever. And I was about to say, and we can just take the rotation and everything with this, but since we have the decals here, hold on. I think this is gonna be too annoying to us to work around all of these decals. I'm just gonna do this to make this a bit less painful for us. Because now, oh, actually we can't because this is under Earth. So curious. Oh, yeah, no, we can. So this is what we want. Wait, I'll try in a sec. This, and then obviously you have to put the angle correctly, and that's the wrong axis, so this is the right axis, and now we just move it so we have a bit of a gap there. I guess try to center it a little better. This should be kinda accurate. Again, we're trying and learning together here. Why large container? Because you think this one is too small. Do we have a large container that's bigger than this? Large cont. Oh, you typed it together? No, neither. Or you mean the open part? You have a point actually. That could have saved us a lot of work. But not really. Because we can't build a staircase with it. Yes, this actually would have been a solid idea at the start, and I would have been happy about it. But I'm quite happy we did not do that, because with what I'm trying to do here, we cannot really use it. Because what I'm thinking, again, this might look horrible, and we have to delete this in a moment again. But what I am thinking is kinda this. Obviously, you have to adjust the surface a little to be at a better position, and then we need more walls here from the side as well to box off the side. And now we find a staircase that fits, and maybe we can even, but I think they're probably a bit too flat. My own staircases, I think probably one of Jay's staircases is gonna be better. But let's have a look. We now take this, and it would have to go all the way down there really, and then one
I
step
am moving
higher,
in, boy.
something like this. Damir, I have very bad news for you. I'm happy you are here, but I actually have very bad news for you, Damir. You see this here? I told people that you are trying to buy out all of my water supply, and I built this cute water tower just for you. This was intended to be a special build just for Damir. Because I like the Mir storyline, buying all of the water towers in our city. There is somebody in chat who did not like the idea of you owning all of the water supply of the city, and that somebody is called Gaga XM, and I'm not entirely sure if he's innocent. Because Gaga immediately bought this water tower. And not only did he steal your water tower, you know Gaga owns the scooter gang in my city. Gaga also wanted to make sure that I put a lot of scooter ladies around the water tower, so it's protected. Because I'm not saying you guys will start fighting about the water towers in my city, but it does feel like it. And sadly, I have even more bad news, which is not just bad news for you, but also bad news for me. After people seen that you and Gaga are trying to take over my water supply, somebody bought all of my electricity. Nomis now is trying to take over the electricity in my city, so I guess eventually, just like in the real world, all of our public servers are gonna be privatized and not in our hand anymore. Since you already redeemed that you wanna buy a property, I think my recommendation on property would be this, because you bought this water tower up here, and this is kinda the mine that fits together to the water tower, or not a mine, but this. I mean, you can also have the pools with fresh water, or this, whatever your wish is your wish. I just thought, because you said this is the origins of your family's water empire, so it seems fitting to also own the house that belongs to it. So, all your choice. You can have the freshwater ones. Okay, freshwater ones first. And I'm sure I'm gonna build more water towers for you, but then I cannot guarantee that there is nobody in my chat who's trying to take them over really quickly. I think this tower is yours already. Yeah, so you're getting everything around here as well. You literally get all of this, you get this belongs to it as well, and then while this is not a proper building, so we cannot rename it super appropriately, we're gonna make sure to also name all of these walls after you, so we cannot forget about it. But yeah, sadly, I think, Damir, you will have to get your own gang in the city or something, because with Gaga Scooter Gang, I'm telling you, they are not a joke. They've been making quite a lot of trouble in my city and keeping my police force busy. So dangerous. Like I can show you. Like look, Damir. Like I'm also suffering from Gaga. You're not the only one. I try to strengthen the industry in my city, and I was like, okay, what does a modern city need? A modern city, obviously, people love ordering stuff off the internet. We need a proper Amazon warehouse, right? First thing that happens after I build my Amazon warehouse, Gaga Scooter Gang comes in here, starts to steal packages and rip me off. It's a misery. I don't know what else to say. And I mean, yeah, if you, I mean, Jay, actually, yeah, I guess bad moment. I did not pay attention. I need to wait till Damir is back from the ad break so I can show him. And Jay, you're not fully correct. I have something that kinda is like a harbor. I'm gonna wait till the ad break is over and then I'm gonna show it. But what is happening to my frames right now? Why are my frames dying? It's so weird. To fix my frames, I have to do this. Zoom out, look at everything, zoom back in, now our frames are fine. But I guess not a bad thing to do while the ad break is running anyways. Sorry, excuse for a harbor is an absolutely stunning harbor, James. You will see in a moment. I just wanna wait till the ad break is over so I can show Damir what Gaga has been up to in this city. Okay, at least Seribot is saying the ad break is over, so I'm gonna trust Seribot, who usually is lying. What I was saying, Damir, is look, I built all of this pretty warehouse here to strengthen the logistics and industry in our city and to bring some new businesses in. One day later, I check back on my warehouse. This is what's happening here. Gaga and his booty rider scooter gang stealing packages are up to no good in my warehouse. I'm telling you, we have to have an eye on these people, Damir. They are not to be messed with. While I'm scared of Damir owning all of my water supply, I think I'm even more scared of Gaga owning all of my water supply. As a leader of the scooter gang, that seems a bit harsh. And Jay, you say I have no harbor. What is this? If I have no harbor, explain what this absolute gigantic cardboard harbor that I have in the middle of my city here is. If this is not a cute and appropriate sized harbor, then I don't know what is. I think that's just harsh accusations that I don't have a cute harbor. Yeah, I'm very much prepared for bridges and port. Absolutely. I mean, I think this is a nice port. I would say I have even more ports. I think in Los Vagos, this probably qualifies as port. Harbor, I guess. I think this is a cute harbor. And even this could kinda qualify as a harbor. We have even this, which is a small island harbor. So, what are you talking about? I have no harbors in my city. Clearly we do, and the Harbormeister's offers is probably down here. This is one of your angry ex-girlfriends that found the Harbormeister office down here, and I don't think she was too happy about seeing you. Because the first thing after she's seen you is that she starts flooring her gas pedal, trying to run into your office. I don't know, this is your past, not mine. I don't know what happened here. But things did happen here, is all I can say. Gaga, you be careful. I'm gonna send more and more police over to anything you're in. Yeah, I mean, Bollard indeed protect. There is a reason we put bollards everywhere, because as you can see, if people try to do anything bad, they can't really, because we have bollards. In fact, I could have made a very dark joke, but that joke is too dark for Twitch, so I'm gonna shut my mouth. And also probably a joke that only Germans would have understood anyways. I mean, yes, they are your bollards, that is absolutely correct. Now the question is how we get this to look a little less shit than what we did here so far. I'm not sure if we can manage to do this better. We can at least try to do this better. But really, does he not let us clip to this at all as soon as we turn off the snapping? These have to be a bit further. These have to get moved a little in. Something like this, maybe? It's so annoying that can I see something if we turn the markers? I would like to see what I'm doing while I'm working with this surface, but I guess that's not gonna happen. I guess we're just working blind here. And it's so annoying because if I turn this snapping off, he doesn't let me take the surface. Like, I cannot move this surface without snapping. If I turn this snapping on, then as you can see, it's clearly snapping to a ton of things that I would like it to not snap to. Holy shit, this is wholeheartedly frustrating. Typical case of I'm losing to the game here. If this is not obvious that Cities Skylines is making fun of me. You fucking bitch-ass game. What is even... How am I supposed to move anything here if they keep clipping? And if I turn the clipping or the snapping off, then I cannot even touch the surface at all. Stop! Ah!
My God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
I wish we had a cactus.
Welcome in, cuties! And I also wish we had a cactus, but I'm losing to the game, Canadian Moose. Can you see what's happening here? If I turn...
I wish
Welcome
we had
in,
a
Raiders.
cactus.
I'm so happy to have all of
I
you
wish
here.
we had a cactus.
But I'm literally losing to the game.
Oh,
If I
that's
turn
cute.
snapping off, I cannot take
I
this
wish we
surface.
had
I
a
cannot
cactus.
choose this surface. It
I
does not
wish
let
we
me
had a
take this
cactus.
surface if I have snapping off.
Oh, that's cute.
If I turn snapping on, I cannot move it anywhere because it snaps to everything. What is happening, guys?
I wish we had a cactus.
I'm losing my mind here. I'm
wish
gonna
we had a
uninstall
cactus.
and surrender to this game
If I have
because
to listen to this
what
bloody
is even
narrator say the same
happening?
thing one more time, I'm just gonna quit
Ah.
and go to Cities.
Road trip, baby.
Oh, that's cute.
I'm maybe
dying.
yeah, no, see, I cannot.
wish we had a
If
cactus.
I don't snap to
If
geometry,
have to
I
listen to
cannot
this bloody
choose
narrator
it.
say the same thing one more time, I'm just gonna
I'm-
quit and go play Cities.
16 times.
I'm
to be
losing
fair.
it. I'm actually losing it. Welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid.
Oh,
I
that's
hope you
cute.
cutie had a nice stream.
Have a great time.
And I'm not surprised about the
I
sound
stream,
spam.
you
That
stream,
seems
flop,
that
flop,
seems
baby.
familiar after Moose raids. You guys cannot get to me.
I
I'm
am the
losing to
owner
the game
here.
so hard that you guys cannot make me angry. Cities itself made me so angry that you cannot make me any more mad than this. And I hope I did not miss any other important one, but Jelly actually redeemed something important. You claim the street, Jelly. Okay, you get Cheek Slap Street. Where do you want the street though? We have a lot of nice areas in the city for you to choose from. I can give you recommendations. You can choose something. Maybe you have an idea of an area. Maybe you'd like to be... I mean, actually, cheek slapping seems appropriate at the beach. I mean, a good crack. I built a very cute crack here. Is this the kind of crack you're looking for? Actually, the road by the harbor is indeed the best one. And enjoy getting your kids, cutie, and maybe see you later. But yes, you are getting if you are fine with it, you're getting this cute street here, which is kinda going past the beach, kinda going through a bit of a rougher neighborhood. And a lot of this. Yeah, of course, Muzi. Thank you so much for the raid. And oh, that sounds like a very nice evening. Then enjoy your ferry trip and enjoy the vegan fried chicken and the donuts. I guess today is cheat day and a nice evening time. So yeah, mate, and enjoy your evening. And thanks so much for the raid. Are you, Jelly? I need you to confirm. Are you fine with this street? Is this a street you want? And actually, while Grey Noise is kidding, we're getting new tracks because somebody is working on a road crack pack right now, and it looks very pretty already. So you don't have to wait too long. I'm actually lazy, so I'm gonna scroll up real quick. I'm gonna actually copy the name. But how was your cutie stream today? I guess I cannot ask Moose because he needs to do the ferry trips and nice things in his life. But did you cuties have fun playing Cities again? Or was Moose very angry at Cities? Both would be reasonable, but maybe you can be angry and have fun at the same time. That's usually the mood in which I'm playing Cities, so highly recommend. And yes, we have a bit of a problem in our city. Also, thank you so much for that follow. This is actually my 250th follower, so something for me at least kind of cool. I started streaming roughly half a year ago, so appreciate it. That's very nice of you. And welcome in. We are building, for everybody new here, I guess some of them already, or some of you cuties already know my city. I always go over the same thing. Our city is called Los Vagos, and we're building a little crazy woke redneck paradise. We're not the wrong kind of rednecks. We like rainbow flags, and we're inclusive rednecks here. But this is pretty much our city start, and where we laid the groundwork and the vibe and flair for our city, and it's some crazy desert paradise, and really trying to do something different in cities. We don't really build after Google Maps, we build after my small and very limited brain, which sometimes successful, sometimes less successful, really depends on the day. And thanks so much, Erin, that's very cute of you. But yes, this is really what we've been working on for a long time, and by now I started to be a small town builder, just like Moose, but then I guess we're not that small anymore. In fact, I think by now we're pretty gigantic. Sad that Moose left already, because Moose made a lot of fun of me for having a big skyline back there. We don't anymore. We literally halved our population yesterday night. Or yesterday in my stream, because I was very angry at all of the ugly stuff back there. We have a lot of ugly stuff back there still, but we deleted a lot of our city and gotten a bit smaller again, and we're kind of working on the last bigger expansion of Los Vagos right now, which is this part back here. I would actually be interested to hear Moose's hours as well, if you guys can actually calculate that, please do. I also need a better computer, because I can tell you guys, yesterday, really, I'm not kidding, we deleted an entire gigantic city here, and then we had a lot of industry here that we also deleted. And my computer runs a lot better. I have a really bad computer, so it's still not gonna run too well, and I'm sorry if we have frame drops sometimes. I'm gonna buy a better graphic card one day, but eventually we'll get there. If we can ever manage to win this fight against this surface, because I'm literally losing it. I was not kidding. The moment of the raid was hilarious, because I literally spent my last few minutes struggling with this god-forsaken, horrible surface here. That, again, my problem is that if we turn this snapping off, I cannot take this surface. If we turn this snapping on, it snaps to a bunch of things that I don't want it to snap to. So yeah, I'm slightly lost on what the best solution here is. Maybe we have to draw this into surfaces. What I really want to build is one of those kind of hydraulic working, I don't even know how you'd call this in English, but not hydraulic, one where the car just drives over and the mechanic works here in the pit below. So curious if we can manage to get that to work. And yes, indeed, Moose the Cutie raided me, and welcome in Hojana. I'm sure I butchered that name, but appreciate it for the follow and welcome in. If I butchered the name, too bad. Gladly tell me how I can mess
That's
it up
cute.
a little less. But I'm dying. Also, maybe Jelly, maybe this cyberbullying has to have an end, and maybe I will just remove the limit to 1. And I will not take any accountability. Cyberbullying, you will leave me no choice. If I have to do so, then it's clearly all your fault, Jelly, and you should feel bad about it. See, the thing is, in my chat, you never have to be bullied and worried about bullying. Obviously, be nice and be wholesome, and don't actually bully people. But bullying is my love language, so if I don't bully you, then that's not a good sign for how much I like you. So I'm not not against bullying. Obviously, I'm against serious bullying, but I'm not against loving bullying in the slightest. Yes, that's a hate crime. The reason I call you cuties all the time is because I despise all of you so much. That is my way of showing it to you guys. Is that not appropriate? I'm struggling here because this is actually really finicky here. I'm not sure if we can build this properly what I want to build because actually I'm having issues here. The first pit was fine with the stairs. I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess I should do that. The problem, Jay, is that the terrain here is not entirely flat, right? As you can see when we look from the side, we have a bigger gap. And the other problem is that the wall is not perfectly flat at the top. So I would do better either with a flatter wall or if we move the wall exactly on the middle cut. So we have a little border downfall. Again, to anybody new in my stream, I think our city looks cute. I guess you are coming from Moose and you guys are familiar with painful and small macro detailing, but I don't think I'm any better than Moose in that regard. I spend a lot of time zoomed in at this and not making progress. Jelly, while you say that, and cause there is a raid been happening, I've been showing this off a lot, but this really is my recently finished big build that I've never been so proud of any other build before. This is our open pit mine over here. And people say industry in this game looks ugly. I tend to disagree. I think industry in this game is tedious and annoying. But I think if you're not shy on putting the effort, you can get a lot of nice industry. Obviously, our city is a bit of a dictatorship. If people call me dictatorship, please be careful. You guys will go to jail. I don't like the sound of that. But yes, we have a lot of police in our streets, and depending on how well you pay off the major or the mayor, depending on how much money you can slide over under the table, you might have a lot of issues with the police, or you might have little issues with the police. It really depends. But yes, we built forever. Probably this small part of the mine, or this is our mine, took us multiple months. All of this is functional. I know this is not, it doesn't look like it, because it does not look like typical specialized industry. But this does work, and this produces coal and fuels our city, so perfect. And then we have this side. This side is the other side of the build, which is our quarry. Is fairly similar, and I guess somewhat the same vibe, but I'm very proud because I think we managed to have a very different feel, right? Clearly this is a mine, and clearly this is coal, and clearly this is sand, an open pit. So I think we managed quite well to differentiate the two of them. Everything in this city needs a cactus, and I'm saying it,
I wish
and
we
I'm gonna
had
say
a
it
cactus.
100 more times. I wish we had a cactus. If anybody has connections to Colossal Order, please, maybe if you have NDA, put in a nice word and give me the cactus. And yes, then here we have the upper part of the mine. I'm very proud of this. People who watch me a bit more regularly, evil tongue, surely none of this is true, but people keep saying I do nothing but placing rocks, which nearly all of the rocks in this build are hand placed. So yes, we might have placed a rock or two, but I don't think we only place rocks. I think sometimes we also recolor rocks, and sometimes we place boulders and not rocks. I know, James, as with everything in this build, I know this makes no sense, because yes, obviously they are actually working here and this wouldn't be overgrown. But, as with everything in Los Vagos, I don't give a flying fuck about realism. Sorry, harsh words. If it looks cute, I'm happy. And if it looks realistic enough, if you would look at it and it would immediately be like, oh my god, this looks horrible, I don't like it, then yes, we would have a problem. But for now, I'm not fully convinced. Also, this is curious, I'm not sure if Gaga is still here. But Gaga, you know I replaced your surfaces to the newer version yesterday, right? You see this? This has not been a harsh cut prior. The old version of this that I had, you see this, Gaga? This is a lot harsher of a cut than your old surface had. It's very noticeable in this part here as well. It's like getting a real harsh border here on the outside. I'm gonna take screenshots to you and take it for you. And I wanna play Baldur Gate, but my problem with games is always Shelly. I already have too little time for Cities and a few other games that I like to play. I'm really struggling getting into a new game, and I do wanna play Baldur Gate with my girlfriend, so I will have to find some time with a miss in when we can properly nerd out and dive into Baldur Gate. But I don't assume that happening anytime soon, to be honest. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing Baldur Gate, because now you guys are playing it, and I had a lot of my friends in the past playing it, and everybody seems to love it. But yes, and as a absolute highlight piece, because this, all of what I just showed you, this industry, I think is the boring part of the build. My favorite part of the build is this part here, and it's the abandoned, not really, this part down here is still kind of active, but it's the old gold rush town. Some of it still is properly in space or in place and used, as you can clearly see here. All of this is still functional. We have a cute mouse, I'm sure the Simpson fans enjoys. And we have a nice liquor store here, where the owner is misbehaving a little. I don't know what this guy here called KS Fan is doing in his own liquor store. But yes, this is the cute town we build around it. I'm very similar to Moose in a regard of liking small town builds. And we like really run down stuff. For a moment I wanted to say run through stuff, but I guess in English I should not say that, thinking about what I just said. So yeah, run down stuff. We're not a big fan of run through stuff. Careful with what you're saying here. But yes, we have this beautiful hotel sign, which actually I need to always give Canadian Moose a shout out for. He sent me the images for this. I don't think he ever used this himself. I'm not sure if he did. And I had those images lying on my computer for a long time and never know what I wanted to use it for, but here I finally could. And again, then here we have the big criminals in our city, and this is the scooter gang of the city owned by Gaga XM, a very dangerous personality in our city who brings a lot of trouble. Obviously the cops are already here making sure that they're fine, and maybe they're checking on their family, because their family is around as well. And then we're diving into the actual old part of the build, and honestly, I don't think I'll ever build anything better in this game. You guys can see we do really go hard on detailing, right? Like we even put broken cables here of the thrown over power plank. We have this rock slide here that took out half of the garden of these poor people, which I'm sorry for them, but shit happens. I've peaked in high school, It's the honest truth. I've peaked in high school since I was only on the way down. It is what it is. You can't choose. You can't choose when you peak, and my peak has been a long time ago already. And yeah, have a good night, Gaga. Thanks so much for tuning in, and have a wonderful good night and sweet dreams. And I'm curious how the battle is gonna continue, because Jelly, there is something happening in my city that I'm a bit concerned about.
Bye, have a great time.
Damir and Gaga, well, first Damir, but Damir started to buy out the entire water supply of my city. Damir owns 95% of all of my water supply in the city. I'm sure he's not planning to blackmail me in future. That's probably not what he's down. Yes, now Gaga also gotten in on the business. I built a new one and I was like, okay, at least one tower is not owned by Damir. Immediately Gaga jumped in and bought it. But yes, this build I'm probably the most proud of everything, because I love how we managed to get a city that's not a full-on gold time. And bye-bye, Elgando. Also, thanks for tuning in and have a nice night. But I'm very proud of this, because I don't think it's a ghost town, it's a dying town. And I love how we managed to get abandonment and run down and really a dying city in here, but still have life in there, right? There is still stuff going on, and there is still stuff happening, but then also there is clearly a lot of stuff not happening anymore and people not living here anymore. And then here we have a very important building for our city, which is our Ministry of Propaganda, because you guys should know some things like, I don't know, this is something all of you guys should remember, for example, because surely I would not make propaganda for myself. Obviously I have my own propaganda minister. And you know, we get some cute posters like this by the glorious Baloo, who goes out in his free time to make cute posters for our city, which I feel very honored by. And I think these turned out amazing. I like making decals a lot myself, but then I never made any kind of propaganda posters. But thanks to Baloo, we have some of these absolute beauties. And I'm a big fan of it, especially this. If you see somebody misbehaving, of course, smile, selfie, submit, get people in jail is exactly what we need here. But yes, here Baloo has its nice own propaganda ministry. And then down here is the highlight of the entire build, I would say at least. And it's our abandoned mine. It's the Gold Digger Mines, of course, very fitting name, because people used to dig for gold here in the past. Surely that's not a suggestive name or anything at all. We would not do something like that in Los Vagos. But yes, then we have this old and abandoned mine everywhere here, where we actually managed to get openings into the mines as well and everything. And I am really happy with how this turned out. In fact, I'm not lying when I say I don't think I'll ever build anything better in this game than what we built here. Maybe I'll eat my words in the future. I very much doubt it, because I really think this just turned out so cute. We even built Sunny Scanny. I'm sure most of you guys know Sunny Scanny, but a cute conspiracy bunker here from where he can hide away in his old days and delve into conspiracy theories. But yes, really, this is a small overview of my city. I'm sure some of you guys are bored because you've seen it before, and I hope at least for some of you there was something new in there. What pools? I'm sure I missed a lot of things in chat as well. If I miss things in chat, don't take it personally. I'm just a bad streamer. So gladly always repeat yourself if I miss something relevant. But what pools? We did name the pool you claimed earlier. You mean, or did I give you something wrong? I thought this is the freshwater pool you wanted, Damir. And this we all named, put under your name. And I'm really shit at paying attention when the ad breaks are. So I missed that we're in an ad break. Have to wait 10 seconds, and then Damir can tell us. I'm also hungry. Can you get us something nice to snack? I mean, who is not hungry at this time in a Friday evening? I would like a grilled cheese. Guys, stop making me hungry, else I'm gonna end stream and go make a grilled cheese sandwich. And all the blame is clearly on Damir. Also, why is this flying? What is happening here? You, sir, not only is this bad parking and he's kind of running into it, he's also flying. This is not up to the quality we wanna build that here in Los Vagos. We have to fix this up real quick. But yes, Damir, it was ad break, so you couldn't hear, I believe. But we named these pools after you. Were that correct, or did you mean to claim something else? Maybe I gave you something wrong as well. Now, after we had a flying truck, we're gonna investigate. Yeah, see, this one is also not clean. This, I know, is very tedious, but I think it's one of the most important things you can do in this game for actual realism and nice look, is adjusting the angle of things and rotating them, fitting to the surface. So you don't have weird flying trucks like we just had, but you have actually very well fitting and angled things. But yes, have a nice evening, Gray. If I believe that's what you meant, at least. If the kids are here, I'm sure you're busy with the kids and not with watching streams anymore. And again, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm actually a bit sad that whenever Gray streams early, not only, there was a few early Gray streams lately, but generally when Gray streams early, he always streams Baldur Gate, and as you know, Jelly, I don't want any Baldur Gate spoilers, so maybe you guys need to start playing something else early. And play Baldur Gate in the middle of the night when I'm sleeping anyways. And maybe we're also gonna abandon this project we're doing here, because I'm not entirely happy with what we're doing. And Jay's suggestion from earlier, I've gotten a bit tracked or sidetracked with the city tour, was not a bad one. We should put the walls up here. I hate that these wobble like they do. Today the game really is bullying me and I'm getting infuriated. But we're gonna try to line them roughly where they should be. And then maybe we can manage just drawing a second surface by itself to get the staircase in there. I mean, everybody should always clap cheeks. If that goes without saying, I would say. Not sure about your households, and everybody do how they like, but I think clapping cheeks is important. For happiness, for well-being, for future generations, it's just, in general, important. I hope this is all. Okay, we're missing one wall here. Oh, this is gonna be so finicky. How do we get that one wall? Okay, let's see if we can actually use a marquee tool to get all of them in. Stop it. Stop it! Okay, we'll just select something else here and then try moving up. The problem why I'm scared of going too far is that these are sometimes pretty big and I don't want to get any of those boulders. But yes, that seems fine, because we need to move a bit further from the road. Oh, actually we're moving something else here. But it's not so bad, we can just move that surface afterwards. But yes, optimally we would not want to use that one. I'm doing nonsense here, I keep deselecting some of the things we wanna use. This is really today. I'm generally not good at this game or playing, so bear with me. But today I'm especially bad at this game. Like I'm literally losing the fight against this game every few seconds today, and I don't know, nothing I can do about it. But yes, this time I think we've gotten all of them. I hope this is an appropriate position, because now here we should be able to just get the terrain up a little further and hide that wall. And then I hope we manage to actually get that surface in correctly, because otherwise I'm gonna tilt off Earth and rage quit and find somebody to raid out to. Because I'm losing to Cities Skylines today, no two sides about it. This game is absolutely shitting on me and making fun of me, which reasonable. I'm not very good at the game, but today I'm struggling especially much. And here we still have a bit of the same issue where we cannot go deeper, but we'll have a small cut there. I can live with it. Now comes the moment of truth, and I hope this lets us work it in just two surfaces. If we just go up here and then draw this way, this should work, even if we let them overlap. Not sure it will. Okay, it actually does. That actually, look, when they overlap, you reverse it. Okay, so we need to make sure we're just gonna delete that and redraw it cleaner. Because yeah, we cannot let them overlap, obviously. Should have figured, but this still allows us to work a lot more clean here than prior with two different surfaces. And I could already see that the staircase is gonna be longer, so we're gonna do this. And we cannot snap. We need to get this cleanly ourselves. I hope this is gonna be fine. Probably we're gonna have to do some adjustment on this, and I guess it's gonna be impossible to adjust, so probably we have to delete it and redo it. With this here, I don't even mind it. This could be some small bar to cover up the top of it. I can perfectly fine live with this. What we do need is the stair to go higher. And then obviously we need those walls here to also go underground. But I think we can get this somewhat appropriate. The problem really is that the floor space here is not entirely on one level. Maybe I should just be harsh. Yeah, I think we need to do this and get all of them flat. And maybe I actually need to turn that into a command, Jelly. Maybe it did, Jelly. Maybe you're at fault for them having been clapped. Okay, Gray already saying no, so I guess you're fine. I think also my mass selection here, I have to be critical with myself. The French wall is not a great match for what we're doing here. I should have definitely chosen something different instead of French wall, but too late. I'm too lazy to redo all of this, so now we're just gonna try to suffer through what we have here and get this to look as appropriate as we can. Honestly, with a bit of cleanup, I think we can get this alright at least. It's not gonna be flawless or anything, but okay-ish. I guess I have only a single command on my channel, Jelly. I'm not good at playing the game. I'm mainly playing, and I'm even worse as a streamer, so I don't know what I'm doing on Twitch really. The only command I have is exclamation mark Discord for people who want to join my Discord, which I highly recommend. My Discord is cute, and many cute people in my Discord. Beside me, of course, I'm not that cute, but everybody else in there are very cute. So if you look for a place where you can share screenshots and have some cute people, then my Discord is a nice place to be in. But yes, that's the only command I have. And I very much agree that slap cheek should definitely be a command on this channel. So even without reminder, I think my combined 2 brain cells can maybe manage to remember about it. Don't want to promise too much, because maybe they can't, but maybe they can. We'll find out. Welcome in, Jonah. Nice to see you here, cutie. This is indeed Booty. Booty got... I've said this a lot, so it's probably boring for most people, but just so you're inside of the loop. What happened to follow Booty, or fellow Booty, is that fellow Booty was watching another nice city streamer, and in that city streamer's chat, there was a very obnoxious, typical Twitch scammer who kept talking about how amazingly big creators he knows and how he can help network and get into circles of real successful and big people. And the nice streamer I was watching was a bit too trusting and believing in that moment and kept eating that guy's mouse. So I literally just said in chat, "Have a nice day, Mr. Scammer," to which he got really angry and reported me. And 20 minutes later, my account was logged out, and to log back in, I had to switch nickname because it said I got reported for a sexual username. Since I actually appealed to Twitch and said I don't think Booty is a sexual username, and Twitch actually agrees with me and said they made a mistake, but they also say that they cannot remove the cooldown from my account, so I cannot rename for the next 2 months. And with that, I'm fairly sure we're just gonna take this opportunity to turn a little less degenerate and measure, and we're probably here. MayorCheeks forever, and Booty Addict is dead and a thing of the past. But yes, that's in short what happened. Also, Twitch, god damn it, it is one frustrating platform to be able to talk to a human person. I spent many of the first days to just get from automatic AI generated message to the next one, which I enjoyed a lot. Obviously, wouldn't enjoy that. But yeah, to talk to a person in this company is not the easiest thing in the world. I'm gonna say as much to it. And I mean, I'm the last person to say my nickname is not silly and degenerate. I just never, or my old nickname. My new nickname is a bit more measured. I never meant to stream or do anything, so I never really thought about the appropriate nickname. And then we just slid into streaming, and at that point it was too late, so maybe Twitch did us a favor with that spank after all. I don't like this corner. Why does this corner look so much better? What did I do different here? I let this one run to the front, but if I do that here, that actually looks silly. I don't understand why that looks so different. I mean, yes, but I don't think I'll ever get partnered. Like, I'm not the proper streamer. I'm just a passionate Cities Skylines player, and if I enjoy the game, then I guess I can stream it. But I only started streaming because I like Cities Skylines so much, and if I ever stop playing this game, I also will stop streaming, I believe. So I don't think that's ever gonna happen. Do you think Booty Addict looked like a bot nickname, Jonah? I find that very curious and interesting. I was not lying. I have a single command tally. I'm a very professional streamer. I will add the MayorCheeks command for you, I promise, but I don't think we'll get so many other commands here. But yes, obviously, have a nice walk with my dog. Obviously, it's my bot. I use Firebot. I have a tons of cool redeems, I think, which arguably, if anybody beside me finds them cool, I find them cool. But yes, the commands I should dive in on. But yes, if you feel like helping me, gladly. And enjoy the walk.
One more time, I'm just gonna quit and go play Cities.
And Jonah, you wanna know something? I actually stalked you a little. Yes, I know stalker alarm, that sounds worse than I mean. But I was just looking at your Twitch account and I seen that you have a website linked that you can stalk your PC builds on. Because I just seen that you have something linked there. And you build so many absurdly expensive, crazy, beautiful computers. How or why is that the case? Because wholeheartedly, all of these computers you have uploaded on that website are incredibly stunning. And literally, I have my jaw dropped. If anybody is wondering, just check out Jonah's Twitch channel, and if you look at his profile, you will see him linked to exactly what I'm saying, a website where you can show off PC builds. And not only are all of the parts in Jonah's builds always absolutely absurd, but what is even more absurd is how absolutely stunning all of them are. Curious. But Jelly, so hold on. For this, I actually have a good excuse. I think the vanilla shoutout is better. I think it's better than the custom shoutouts. I think if I link Jonah like this, that allows people to follow right from my channel. So I think this actually does a lot more. I think the other is a bit show-offier, but I think people will less likely actually go to Jonah's channel and follow there. And I think the vanilla shout-out is better suited for actually getting proper support over to other people. So that's why I don't have a custom shout-out command. While generally, the reason for stuff on this channel is just me being a bad streamer and they don't have much more reason. For this, I actually used my 2 brain cells and decided that I prefer the vanilla shoutout. But yes, gladly, like, if I can make my stream a bit less amateurish, then I'm not against it, so sure, gladly. Does this work? Does this look bad? Does this kinda work? I'm not entirely sold on it, but I also don't hate it. What if we actually try to put a vehicle on there now? I'm not as happy as I thought we could be. Maybe I have to build this more appropriate off stream, and I was gonna say we are not in the correct size, but we are actually in a pretty good size. Maybe we should take a bit of a smaller car so there is something still visible from the bottom. But wholeheartedly, I think this is kinda cool, because yeah, you can see it here, and then we can even put some mechanic people below there. So I think kinda, not perfectly happy. I think this could look a bit cleaner than it does. But I don't hate it. Not my best work, but also not my worst work, I guess. And actually, Gray, I have quite a lot of questions to you as well, because you bought a lot cheaper graphics card than Jonah would interact with, but I am interested in that same cheap graphics card. And I'm so curious because I looked at a bit of benchmarks from different GPUs and cities. The big problem is all of those benchmarks are in vanilla cities, and my build is so highly overmodded that I think my demands for the game are very different. Like, my CPU is literally falling asleep while I'm playing Cities Skylines, and I have a really shitty CPU, but still it's not really taxed. But there is no proper comparison for any of that. Well, and it's also less VRAM. I mainly care about a lot of VRAM, to be honest, for cities, because my VRAM is at all times playing this game, my VRAM is completely full, and every time I offload something to my page file, I get a stutter. And welcome in, I'm gonna fail so hard at that name, Mixolusian the Nude. I tried, I probably butchered that worse than any other person has ever butchered your name. I tried. Welcome in, mate, nice to see you. What is going on is I'm losing to Cities Skylines and desperately trying to build a cute car lift here, but it's a lot more difficult than I anticipated it to be. I think we kinda managed to get it all right now. Now the only thing we have to do, but it's so hard to see when they think underground. I would need, wait, we need somebody that has very colorful clothes so we can properly see. Give me somebody with really colorful shoes, this guy. And now we lower him and pay attention when his shoes disappear under here. So he has to stand at minus 2.2. I mean, this guy even looks like he could be a car mechanic, so why not? It's a hot summer day in the desert, you can work topless. So there's two mechanics under there. Nobody's probably ever gonna see this, because that perspective is not like we're gonna look under there too much. But I learned something, and we tried something new and did something that, at least when you actually look at it, I think looks kinda cute. But yes, this has been a really painful experience. It took nearly an hour to build that shit thing. And glad I got it right, because I know generally people are not angry at me if I butcher the names, but I would like to manage to pronounce the names of people correctly, but I'm sure I butcher it very regularly, and if so, I'm sorry for it. Here with the decals we actually have to be a bit finicky, because we do bleed very noticeably on these white French walls. So we're gonna avoid touching that thing at all. Think like this were a lot better. And then we're gonna use one of my own local assets that we use all the time, because it's one of the only few good local assets I ever built. And it's this car lift, because I think the combination out of both of these two are really gonna give this some vibe. Yeah, I mean, I think in general, like, even if the Intel GPUs are still struggling a little, I think it's great that there is more competition on the GPU market, so yay, go Intel, I guess. So I can be a bit less of a fan of them after the US government bought in, but generally any competition is good competition. So I don't mind. For me it's more that I am actually, and I know people hate AI, and I'm not a big fan of many AI things, but I do actually use AI at work at times, and I prefer NVIDIA because of the CUDA cores, because there is nothing, like, I like running local models, and there is nothing comparable for the AMD side. If CUDA cores wouldn't be a thing, I would just go out and buy an AMD GPU because I think you get a lot more for your money. But if you do any AI or 3D or heavy workloads, then yes, sadly Nvidia is still king. That is a question that is really difficult to answer. The reason that question is so difficult to answer is that depends on how you want to play the... Yes, you definitely need a computer with more than 4 gigabytes of RAM. In fact, you will need a computer with a lot more than 4 gigabytes of RAM. And you will have to decide a bit how you play. I play the game very heavily modded, right? We have a lot of custom surfaces and decals and all of those things in here. Those things are not fully supported by the game yet, and they currently get loaded a bit inefficient into the game. What I mean with by inefficient is they hog a lot of RAM. So I literally already upgraded RAM for this game. I currently have 64 gigabytes of RAM. You can totally play this game on 16 gigs of RAM. If you don't super heavily mod the game, you should be perfectly fine on 32 gigabytes of RAM if you're not an absolute mod nerd. And if you're as crazy about modding as me, then sadly I would say you should actually get 64 gigabytes of RAM, which is absurd. When I built my computer, I was like, 64 gigs of RAM, I will never need that. There is no reason for me to ever have as much RAM in my system. But then I started Cities Skylines, and Cities Skylines is a very RAM-hungry game. I assume that's going to be a bit better once we get the official asset importer, because we'll get virtual serialization, and that should make things a bit more efficient and should hog up a little less RAM. But yeah, RAM, the game is really demanding. Otherwise, I think my computer is pretty average, and I am doing perfectly fine playing the game and streaming. So I think people over-exaggerate generally in how demanding this game is. Though that comes with a caveat, I also play in only 1080p, so I'm a budget gamer. If you want to play in high resolutions, you need an absolute spaceship for this game, but I don't mind so much. But yes, 4 gigs of RAM, I don't think you can even load into the game with that, to be honest. I don't know, because for work, I use a laptop, but for work, I need an Apple, so I always have a MacBook Pro. And for gaming, I always self-build my computers, so I have no clue about any pre-built systems. So sadly, wrong person to ask. Yeah, though that is very dependent. That's part of why I say it really depends on... Because if you see here, my city is very small, right? My city is very small, and my game runs fine. For my city here, the CPU is very much bored while we're playing Cities Skylines, because the CPU is not taxed very heavily. My GPU is constantly dying when we play this game. For most people, that is gonna be the opposite, because most people use a lot less custom assets and detail a lot less. So they have a lot less load on their graphics card and a lot more load on their CPU, because generally people build bigger cities than I do. For me, again, it's mainly taxing for the GPU, not the CPU. But yes, Gray is perfectly right in pointing that out. That is mainly due to our city being so small in population. Where are the tiles. Am I blind? Car tire. Should have a pile of tires. Okay, thank you here. This is what I was looking for. Otherwise, I would say the game has a lot of issues, but it's also at least my favorite game with a lot of issues. So I'm sure you'd have a lot of fun playing this game, but also be prepared for some things to be a bit buggy and not that well optimized yet. We are making slow progress, and every patch the game gets a little better, but we're still far away of being at a point where everything is perfect, I would say. Well, I'm trying to not be a gigantic beast. This game has very many bad sides about it. I think if you ignore a lot of the fundamental gameplay of this game and just play a cute city builder like I do, or a city painter, I should even call it, I think you can have a lot of fun in this game. Like, as much as I'm critical of CS2, do I think there is any other game I have remotely as much fun in as playing this? I don't. Do I think there is a lot of things this game should desperately do better and improve on? I absolutely do. I think those things really don't go against each other, but at least for me personally, they go very much hand in hand. Yeah, I would also say at least 32 gigs for cities, and depending on how heavy you want to go in the game, I would also recommend 64. But yeah, of course, that's why I'm saying the game has a lot of issues, but then I don't know, I don't zone, so I never see the construction thingy. I have literally never seen that. The ground texture, very annoying, I agree. But there is fixes for that, even though they involve mods. So yes, I'm not trying to disagree, Jonah. I think the game has a lot of problems, but all I'm trying to say is I'm still yet to find a game that I enjoy more than Cities. So while I think it's appropriate to give the game flack, it's also appropriate to, while calling the game shit, because it is kind of a shit game, at least be honest and also say that you're still enjoying it a lot, because we would all not play it or watch it if we don't think it's a fun game. Does that mean it's a good game or a proper optimized and finished release game? Absolutely not. No, I don't mind. I think for me, a lot of the... I've said this so much on stream. I think for me, I just really know what I'm getting into. Because when I bought the game, I was watching Canadian Moose, and I was watching Sully, and I was watching Infrastructurists play the game on YouTube, right? They are the reason why I bought the game, and they bitch about the game all the time when they play, and they're like, oh, this is buggy, but then they're still having a great time playing the game. So I did not buy the game because of the horrible marketing that to me still seems very much... I don't want to say it like they are lying, but the marketing just is not very honest. Let's carefully phrase it that way. But I did not buy the game because of the marketing. I knew what I was gonna get, right? I've seen the gameplay, I knew about all of the issues, and I decided that looks very fun and I wanna try. So I don't know, coming from there, I think it is very fun. I do really enjoy playing this game. Not much two sides about it. And who knows, maybe they can get the game better in future. I'm also curious about the citizen stuck remover thingy, because I heard bad things about it. Not saying it's bad, but I heard a few people that say they brick their save with it, so I would be somewhat careful with it at least. And I think the problem also in that mod is I've seen people discuss about it in the TDW Discord, where generally most of the code rats of this community are hanging around. So the most knowledgeable people on that topic, they were arguing a lot about if the mod correctly classifies who's a stuck citizen and not, and I think what they came down to is that it's impossible to just define stuck citizens, and you will always have some people show up in the number of stuck citizens that are not actually stuck as well. So I'd be a bit careful with that mod at least. I think that was in the very start of the mod as well. I think the mod has gotten a few substantial updates since. But I don't trust simulation mods. I think unless you have a problem that you need to fix with a simulation mod, you are generally not gonna do yourself a favor messing with your simulation. Yes, exactly. A lot of commuters, I think there were a few other conditions. People who are currently going to or from holidays, for example. There is no proper classification for the game in how to put that in. So the mod counts all of those people as stuck as well, while they are not technically stuck. And that is also not something the mod dev can really fix, because there is nothing that the game allows you to classify it even more strictly to exclude those people. So again, I think the mod, I've seen in some cases it helped people that had massive issues with their save, and before you have to throw your city away and start a new one, yes, try anything you have, and you should totally try that mod. But if you don't have any issues, I don't see why you would risk the health of your save with a mod that is not entirely safe, at least. I mean, I would just recommend you, if you're interested in the game, I do think it's a great game and it's very fun. I do think there is quite a lot of bugs. I think the best thing you can do is just watching gameplay of people, either me or another Twitch streamer, or just type Cities 2 gameplay on YouTube and watch people a bit, because then you know what you're getting into, right? And I still think it's a great game, and you can have a lot of fun in this, but I also think it's not for everybody, right? Like, if you wanna do complex city planning, this is not a difficult and complex game. You should find a different game for you. If you wanna build highly detailed and cute cities, then perfect game for you. I think you should get it, and you will have a lot of fun with it. Let me follow up on chat real quick. Yeah, no, I was gonna say, as a new player, I also think you don't see issues. And it's a bit of a part why I think I'm a bit less harsh with the game devs than some other people are. Because honestly, no matter which game I liked in my life, have the devs ever made the community fully happy in the game I played? That has never been the case yet. I think the player base, if they really enjoy a game, they get overly passionate and very much eaten up onto details. I don't think Cities Skylines is a good example for that, because there is some very basic and big flaws in the game, so I'm not trying to make excuses for Cities, because I think it is a bit of a different situation. But I think even in good games, it's hard to make people fully happy as a game dev. One of the, I can literally give one of the examples that triggers me the most about this game, because it's such a small thing. There is these smashes in the game that, if we look at these, clearly this is just flat out broken, right? They must have messed up something in the texture files, or maybe put a wrong map on this. I don't exactly know what they did. These meshes look like this since I'm playing the game. We had many updates, and still this is the case. Why is this the case? What is happening here? It's even worse because we just placed this thing. This wheel here is just flowing in mid-air. Like, this is just our detailing that saves this a little, but this is how the mesh is. It just has that gigantic air flying in the middle of nowhere. And they are all like this. These exactly the same. I guess, yeah, they are camouflage is the only thing that could explain this, but I can understand this happens. You're a game dev, you mess up and you have a broken mesh into your game. What I cannot understand happening is that something like this slides through the cracks for over half a year or over a year by now. How that can happen, I don't understand, and that does not throw the best light on them, I guess. But again, with all the bitching I have about this game, I play this game multiple times every week. I love this game. I dedicate a lot of my free time to this game. So while I'm bitching a lot, I also really love this game, and I think both things are a bit counterintuitive, but they can go hand in hand with each other. Really? In what? And how would I do that? I have never done that. I have no clue how I would do that. I have never had that bug. That is so curious. I actually want you to tell me about it, because I've seen screenshot of that. You mean there are buildings that just out of nowhere are like 10 times as big as before, right? Done. Graphics, show advanced. What are we looking for? This. And what would I do with this? Put this higher or lower? It already is at the setting you want it to be on. Okay, so then I already have the perfect settings, but that bug is still there. Yeah, no, it is just a broken mesh, I believe. So for this it doesn't solve it, and I agree with Jonah, like it's not the end of the world, it's just weird. Like how does that happen, that something like that can stay in the game for such a long duration and them not noticing that there is a bit of a problem, I guess? Because maybe just me, but feels like you should notice. Maybe I'm also being too harsh and demanding here. I don't know. You guys can tell me, but does not feel. I mean, Jonah, you also have suffered a lot longer. Like I'm only playing the game for a year, right? So I think since I played the game, the development has been a lot more positive than for most old players, because literally right after I started playing the game, we started getting the region packs. I don't know how you guys played the game for so long without the region packs, because the region packs are such a game changer. And really, they all came into the game right after I started playing, so for me that actually was a pretty nice experience. I mean, I guess I'm to a part, I'm being generous, but I also think that I'm ignoring most of the parts of the game that are bad. I don't deal with traffic too much. I do like some simulation, but the simulation in this game is easy and could be mastered by a monkey. So I don't think there is too much simulation to be had. I just detail, and I think this game is really... There is its flaws, but for detailing is a very fun and good game. And yeah, if you play this game wanting to fix traffic, then yeah, wrong game. We have a horrible traffic AI. You will not have a good time trying to fix traffic in Cities Skylines. But if you would want to detail and build cute cities, then I think you will absolutely have a good time in this game. No, I mean, I would say just look at the gameplay, because again, I think people are also harsh because they play the game a lot and they are, I think, yes, I'm probably being a bit generous, but I also think Jonah is being a bit harsh the other way around. The game has a lot of bugs and the game is quite messy. Is the game really fun? I would say so. Jonah is streaming the game very regularly himself, so I don't think Jonah is in physical pain while playing this game. In fact, usually when I watch Jonah stream, it does seem like you're having fun playing the game. So, as bad as some things in this game are, I don't think playing the game is not having a good time. Like, literally, everybody in my chat is playing the game like probably 20 hours every week. So, take it with a grain of salt. Like, these are people complaining about their big love in their life. Not people that are like, oh my god, the game is so shit, I don't want to play it. They're all playing the game and they're at least having a bit of fun while doing so. Well, you're also a variety streamer and play a lot of other things. I exclusively, if I play a video game in Cities, pretty much. Which alone speaks about how much I like the game. Yeah, I think that's a good recommendation. Like, yeah, buy it on Steam. If you play it under 2 hours, then you can just refund it. And I think you'll get a good impression, though I do think that's actually a bit of a complicated caveat in this game, because I think the game is not great without mods. I think the game is okay without mods. I think the vanilla part of the game is getting better. I personally would not play this game without mods, and I don't think you can set up the game properly and get all mods installed and figure the mods out a bit and dive into the game to a level where you understand things in 2 hours. So I don't think the refund policy is going to be too helpful, but yeah, good advice otherwise. I mean, yeah, there are some people who like vanilla, like Teddy, also big honor having you in here. It's one of the old superstars of the game that been playing before I even started the game, so actually honor having you in here. But yes, Teddy, for example, is a pure vanilla player, I believe, from my understanding at least. And I know that, for example, some of the content creators who did the preview stuff for Bridges and Ports, like Sunny, for example, said that especially with the new added content, he actually had a very good time playing in vanilla as well. So that's just my personal preference, right? Like I prefer playing heavily modded, but I'm not saying this is not a fun game in vanilla. For me, it would be less fun. But for other people like Teddy, I think it's more fun in vanilla because man enjoys being limited and trying around with the little tools that vanilla offers. So there is something there that really everybody can be happy in their own way. And I should have not said old. He's a young and attractive, good-looking superstar, of course. The old was only referred to you being a long part of the community. Otherwise, of course, you look like a newborn teenager. And I would never even think about calling you old in that context. Just to clarify, I'm not trying to throw any shade here. Yeah, no, in fact, I think probably that's already being generous. Like if Teddy goes to buy liquor at a liquor store, then I'm sure he's gonna get asked for his ID. That's interesting because I don't think you stream very often. I've been in a few of your streams, or I guess 2 or something like that in the past. I've heard your name a lot more than I've actually seen content of yours. And I did see your vanilla build for the City Planner Place competition, which honestly impressive vanilla build. So very, very impressed. But yeah, I don't know. For me, it is just, we never know when stuff is gonna get ready, right? And I hear a lot of people who tell me, yes, but all of the mods and all of the custom assets, none of that is supported yet. Sure, but I don't know when it will be. I'm not waiting and playing a game in a shittier state, and it has to be for another year, maybe half a year. I don't know. I just, if everything I built, if all of this cute city that I'm very proud of here, if all of this dies tomorrow, then so be it. I'm using mods. I know that I'm risking the integrity of my game and my save. I'm trying to be somewhat smart while using mods, and I barely use any simulation mods, so most of my mods can't really break anything of big context, right? Like, but yes, it could totally be that either my save breaks tomorrow or my city breaks, or half of the things we're using in this save suddenly don't work anymore. And sure, that would be sad, but then who cares? Then I get tilted at cities for 2 weeks and play something else, and then we start again, I guess. I don't think it's the end of the world, really. Otherwise, the truth for me is I don't enjoy the game in vanilla. I'm happy if other people do, but if I don't play heavily modded, then I'm not playing the game, right? So I could also take a break till the asset editor is released and then start playing the game. But I like the game. I'm having fun playing the game, so I just play now and live with the risk that it brings, really. I mean, sure, I can give you a tour. I'm always a bit overwhelmed because my city is still small, but it's very highly detailed. I'm gonna try to give you guys a bit of a tour, and I'm gonna try to make it a bit different than I usually do, so it's a bit more interesting. I already gave a pretty long tour of this area, which I've never been more proud of any build than this. This is the best industrial build that I have ever built in cities. This took a long time. I'm very proud of it. The closer you zoom in, the more you see how detailed this is, right? Like, I love custom details, I love street art, I love a lot of these decals are made by yourself. It's really what's bringing me into this, right? Like, we have small fucking warning signs everywhere. We have silly brandings. Our entire build is very much don't call me dictator. I'm not a dictator. I care for my citizens and I care for everybody, but we might or might not have a little dictator vibes in here. So this is a statue of my hand, so the workers can gather some inspiration and prosperity and pray to the big hand of El Presidente. And yeah, this is pretty much how I imagine the city to be evolved around, right? Because we have a railway going through our entire city, and then we have this big mining industry. And this is the old part of Los Vagos. This is how Los Vagos started. Yeah, it's pretty much like the start tour. And I've never played Satisfactory, so as much as I take that as a compliment, sadly is incorrect. But yes, I love detailing, right? Like we do a lot of small stuff, and this is the old part of Los Vagos where I imagine the town to had its origins, and clearly nowadays this part of the town is struggling a bit. This is one of my favorite builds. This is our scooter club, because biker clubs and biker gangs already are dangerous, but if there is one thing more dangerous than a biker club, then I think it's a scooter club. And this is the headquarters of our scooter club that is doing a lot of trouble in our city that we're fighting with. I have never played CS1, or yes, I have played CS1 for 30 hours. I played CS1 for 30 hours. I absolutely despise that game. I like city builders, but building roads in CS1 was so fucking shit and painful. I played for 30 hours and then I uninstalled and never touched that game again. And I started playing CS2 a year ago, and since I've been having a lot of fun and enjoying myself. But yeah, no, CS1 you will have never seen any of my content. I played unmodded in that game. Maybe that was my fault, because again, I wouldn't like CS2 unmodded, so probably it was a mistake trying CS1 unmodded. But I just didn't warm up with that game. I enjoy watching people play CS1. I think it's very fun to watch. I think it's a lot of cool builds. I don't want to have to play it. That is not my kind of vibe. I prefer CS2 by a big margin. It's just so much more comfortable and quicker to build and everything. I don't know. But yeah, this is pretty much the old origins of Los Vagos. With here we have an old abandoned train terminal. We even built those small, damn it, how do you call those in English? I guess those mine wagons. They have a better word, but I forgot about it because I'm German and my English, especially when it's getting late in the day, is starting to lack vocabulary. But yes, we have a lot of cool custom stuff like these custom bridges. And then we have the highlight of this old build, which is this abandoned old mine here. That really is the happiest I've ever been with any build I ever made. I think this turned out absolutely stunning. I love how much we managed to get this town to look not like a ghost town, but a dying town. Again, I've said this earlier and I'm very happy about it. And I see that there is an ad break starting, so I'm gonna continue the tour till the ad break starts, and then we're gonna dive in. And then this is more the rest of the entire city. Generally, this is our big education campus. Not the most interesting, but we have a cute beach volleyball club here. And then obviously I love graffiti. All of the graffiti you see in this build are my own packs. I only use my own art. And I guess I'm gonna wait for the ad break. In fact, I've not taken a break yet, and I'm gonna run to the toilet real quick while the ad break is running. I'll be back real soon for you cuties. back. Sorry, I just used the ad break real quick because I had to go to the toilet and I didn't want to let you guys wait anyways. And you scared me, Teddy, because when I came back, the very first thing is seeing your reply to Jonah, but I didn't see its reply. So for a moment I thought you mean me, which fair enough if that would have been the case, but I'm happy that you don't mean me, but somebody else instead. So that was a bit of a scare moment. But yes, what I just said is when the ad break started is very clearly I love graffiti and art in this game. All of these graffiti and art packs are my own graffiti and art packs. While there is a lot of other great decal creators and surface creators out there, with art I try to use only my own things, so I can take a screenshot everywhere and say this is my art. It's not because I'm arrogant and I think there is not other good things out there. It's literally just for the comfort of using everything. But yes, this is a kind of vibe of our build. Good night, Shane. I guess that means you're heading tonight or to bed. But yeah, have sweet dreams and thanks for tuning in, mate. And yes, in general, this is a kind of vibe of our build. A lot of chaos, a lot of things. We have people from the biker gang that check up everywhere. All of the churches in our build are obviously from the Ploppers cult, because I think that's the only religion people should join. Probably Teddy as a vanilla player would disagree with me and will not become a member of my Ploppers cult. But who knows, maybe in future, if the game is a bit more ripe and he's diving into mods as well. And then I guess the most important thing about our entire city is this, I think, very small and probably too little sized palace. I think a city of this size with a major like myself deserves a bit of a bigger palace, so I'm sure we'll expand on this eventually. I didn't even pay attention to that. This? Oh, you're right. Actually, they are. Yes and no. They look misaligned because of the depth. They are aligned fine, but yeah, like this, it actually looks misaligned. But it is because of the depth. I don't think they're actually misaligned, or are they here? Oh, kinda. They are. You're right. Wrong building? Which one? Maybe I missed it, but anyways, this is our cute palace, and thank you so much for the follow. That is very nice of you. I'm sure you will have fun in the game, right? Because, like I'm saying, I think the game has problems, but then clearly, if you look at a build like this, I had a lot of fun building this. Here, sadly, we had a horrible accident, because this citizen asked for asphalt roads, and clearly asphalt roads is out of our budget, so I don't know what happened, but he had a very terrible accident afterwards. And in general, the rest of our build really is a crazy, sandy desert redneck paradise. A lot of it is inspired by Arizona, Utah, Mexico, Colombia. We don't really use Google Maps, we more use vibes and inspiration from other places. This is the headquarters of our biker club, or I'm not entirely sure what they do here, but surely shady business. And this is the very origins of our build. This is where we started Los Vagos, and the origins of Los Vagos, I go over this every time when somebody asks about the city tour, is mobile trailer homes and crazy rednecks. Woke rednecks, I always have to say that. We're inclusive rednecks. We like people from all color and all sexual interest, like whatever you wanna be, you can be. But we're rednecks after all. I don't know, I guess rednecks don't work that way. But I'm a European, so I turn rednecks into whatever I feel like they should be. And I guess in Los Vagos, rednecks are a bit more woke than in reality. And here we have a bit of our fancy area, while most of Los Vagos is not that fancy. Yes, people who have illegal businesses or do shady stuff can also afford some pretty nice houses. Mainly, for example, this one, which I guess is our narco mansion, where people have a helicopter spot in their backyard. This really does seem like a nice and powerful place. And back here we have a lot of farmland, which I am very proud of this. I think farms in this game look really ugly. I'm curious what people would say, but I hate specialized industry in this game, and I think we managed to actually work with specialized industry in a way where we've gotten somewhat cute looking and proper farms here. So, getting there slowly. Now I've been slow catching up on chat. Now, Damir, you have me actually wanting to look back at it. The cube, slanted roof, and the cube bottom. Here, you mean? Yeah, here this actually is very, in general, like here a lot of the tiles are not clean. I don't know how they managed to do that, to be honest. And now I've seen it, now I can't unsee it anymore. Before I've never seen that, so not thank you for pointing that out. Very much not appreciated, Damir. Nice of you anyways, but not appreciated. Yes, and here we have our cute Brokeback Mountain range. And I've always struggled because our build is so detailed and dense that whenever I do a city tour, I don't know what I should show and what is too boring, what isn't too boring. This is one of my favorite small builds. Its part is the furthest corner of our botanical garden, where the filthy teenagers have taken over and they are tormenting our botanical garden and trashing it. And they meet here in the evenings and they drink together and they do graffiti and horrible teenager things like that, that obviously we cannot stand for, but we also can't really stop them. This is not easy to reach. Police cannot just wait here all the time. So yeah, those teenagers are a little out of control. In general, I guess this botanical garden I generally don't show so much because it's the only somewhat appropriate YouTube video I ever made. If anybody wants to see a proper tour of this botanical garden, I would suggest checking out my YouTube channel. That's linked below my channel. If you scroll down in the about section, there is a single video in my YouTube channel, and it's this botanical garden. But yeah, even in this botanical garden or the farms around it, we do have a bit of issues. Like our city has been haunted by aliens, and these pesky aliens keep landing in our fields, and they keep drawing pictures of their spaceship, which I find very questionable. I wish they would stop with it, but yeah, again, they keep drawing spaceships everywhere in our city, and we cannot really stop them from doing so. And I guess my second favorite build I ever did in this city is this weird outside art plaza. I don't even know how to call it, because it's like kind of an art market, but also kind of an outside gallery. And these murals here, I made those myself again, but they are an homage to my absolute favorite street artist, a German street artist. So this is my try of making something to honor this guy and build him my own cute gallery in the city. And I think this turned out very cute. Also took us forever, and so the city tour does not get impossibly long, but I guess this is the last bigger part of the city that I didn't show yet, is our center beach, where we have actually multiple beaches. This beach here, that kinda belong to this cute hotel over here, where people have easy access, and then the actual public beach over here from the city where everybody can into. And then yeah, for the very rich and fancy people, some of these mansions here even have some cute private beaches, so some people really know how to live life in this city. But yeah, what can we say? This pretty much, I guess, is Los Vagos so far. We also have a second small city, ignore the big city here, that is far from not even finished, but far from even getting started. We also have this small city here, which is a small airport bordering city for a custom airport we built a while ago. And eventually, I hope that we will also build out this city and kinda start not connecting those. I want those to be 3 distinctive cities by themselves. But I want it to be a bit of a corridor through the canyon connecting these somewhat. So looking forward. In fact, we cleaned a lot up here yesterday and I've been draining this lake. I literally let my computer run for like 3 or 4 hours yesterday after stream just to have the water evaporate, and all of this was filled with water as well, but it keeps taking forever. I know that there also is a way for me to drain this, but I'm not in a rush, so it can evaporate slowly. But holy heck, it takes forever in this game for water to evaporate. Actually, surprising. I would have imagined that happens a lot quicker than it actually did. And here, with a look at this McDonald's, I actually think the McDonald's itself starts looking pretty appropriate. One thing we're definitely missing here is trash bins. Also, obviously, if anybody wants to see a specific area in my city, I can gladly show it. But I'm always a bit overwhelmed with those city tours, because my city is too detailed and too big to properly show too much of what we've done, so I just randomly drive over the city and show random places. But if anything piqued your interest, then gladly scream and we can look at it as well. But yeah, really, I think this McDonald's is perfectly fine. The one thing, because people were asking earlier if CS1 is not a better game. The one thing I'm so jealous about for CS1 is their sims, and their animated sims, and their sitting sims, and the way their sims look compared to our sims. Everything is better than our sims. But sadly, in CS2 we only have standing sims, so this looks a bit clowny, but it's the best we can do to just stand people around those restaurants and dining areas again. I hope in future we get more possibility here, but this is one of the absolutely flawed and not yet great parts of this game. Are you gonna stream today, Graham? Because with a look at the clock, I will have to stop streaming sooner than later. So if you plan on streaming today, maybe I can bully you into loading your stream up today, or stream up already, so I can send all of these nice people over to you. I think the majority of my viewers generally is from Europe, so most of them already are in bed, but okay. Oh well, where has she been? And of course, if wifey is coming back, then that obviously comes first. Yeah, sadly, generally, I don't really get chances to raid you, Ray, because the only times when you play, 2 times where I could raid you, you play Baldur with Jelly, and since I exclusively stream cities, I also try to exclusively raid within cities. If that's not possible, then yeah, raid to other categories as well, but mostly that is possible, and if you if you play early, then generally it's Baldur, sadly. Oh, how come? I guess Dallas actually is very cool. I wanted to, after having finished my school, I wanted to actually do an internship in Dallas at an agency. And I had everything cleared already. I had my working contract, I had everything, I was ready to go. They already were trying to help me to find a flat there for a while. And then it turns out I could not get a visa because I needed more experience in my field of work to be able to work there for that time. So after all, that sadly did not happen. I liked it quite a bit, I have to say. I guess you don't seem like the biggest fan. For me, it would have just been a cool opportunity because as a broke student, I would have had the money to travel there for a longer time by myself. But then combining it with an internship, I could have. So I was pretty heartbroken back then when that didn't work out. I should know Gray, but I have to admit I don't recall where exactly you live. But please let me, thank you, get one of those. Oh, actually I'm silly. We don't even need a table, we need a chair. I mean, I guess Houston must have really changed. I've been in Houston over 15 years ago, and I guess that was a lot different, and I don't think that's too nice. But yes, I guess Houston has made a gigantic change in the last few years. Well, yeah, okay, see, because one of the reasons why I like Dallas is that it's not that far from the Rockies, so I love snowboarding, and one of the reasons why I wanted that internship so bad is because I imagined I could work there during the week and then in the weekends grab my snowboard and go out and get some powder in. Yeah, again, sadly that did not work out, but that was one of the reasons why I was so excited about going there, because as much as you can also go ski in Germany, I think in Germany skiing is not that interesting, and generally you always need to go to Austria or to Swiss already, or even Italy or France, anywhere but Germany. Well, yes, again, you can ski and snowboard in Germany. I think it's fairly boring. Maybe I'm going a bit overboard here with the amount of people, but then actually I quite like it to have a really full seating area out here. These parking lots here actually see quite a bit of usage, so with the amount of vehicles, I don't think that's too far off. Curious. I mean, Colorado is very pretty as well, I have to say. In general, I've said this many times in stream, but I traveled quite a lot through the US, both as a kid and as a teenager with my parents. And while I have bad things to say about the US sometimes, I will never have anything bad to say about the beauty of the country. Like, nature-wise, the US is absolutely impressive and stunning in very many areas. I think today till this day, the favorite nature spectacle I've ever seen in my life. And I know that it's not as highly considered by most people as by me, but I love Bryce Canyon. I literally started crying when I seen Bryce Canyon the first time because I find it so incredibly beautiful. Which I think was partly due to the weather being such a perfect fit. Like when I seen Bryce Canyon the very first time, it was a sunny day, but it was snow and there was quite a lot of fog hanging over the canyon, showing a lot of the canyon and making it very visible and beautiful to see. But in that ambience, I don't generally cry all the time, I would say. But goddamn, that was so stunningly beautiful, I started crying just looking at it. Absolutely goddamn stunning. Yeah, Utah is my... See, Gray, I have a very... Well, I don't like the US so much, I have a very special relationship to Utah and Arizona especially. And maybe you've heard me say this before, but when I was a small kid, with 3 years old, my mama was a teacher, and my mom did a teacher exchange, something that I guess is very untypical and not something you hear of very often. But my mom pretty much changed our house with the house of a teacher in the US, and we lived in Arizona for a year, and they lived in our house for a year. And while Mama had to work and do things, my dad didn't, and I was a small kiddo, so my dad and me drove around in a camper and explored a lot of the US, and then a few years later, my parents both took a sabbatical, and we spent 5 and 6 months driving with a caravan through southern Canada, the entire US pretty much, and northern Mexico, which I guess nowadays would be a bit less secure than back then. But I love Utah, I love those areas, especially for me as a German person. We don't know desert, we don't know beautiful red sandstand. It's so... I have so many good memories of that. It's part of why Los Vagos looks the way it does, because while Los Vagos clearly has many different influences, yes, Utah definitely is a big influence of what we're doing here. I mean, do I need to even say that Utah is a big influence if we have something like this in our build? If this does not scream Utah to you, Gray, then I don't know what does. Even my botanical garden, like nature-wise, yes, I'm 100% with you. Utah is stunning, and it's not that easy in CS2 to do the most stunning landscapes and stuff. But yeah, this kind of Pine Road Canyon here, and I guess the other most Utah thing in our build is our botanical garden here with this crazy big red sandstone arch. So yeah, again, very much with you. I love Utah. I think it's absolutely stunning. I would love to go to the US. I hope that country gets a little less shitty political in the next few years, because the sad truth is currently I would not want to travel to the US with the political situation over there. And I like the country, so I hope eventually that changes and I feel comfortable again traveling there. I mean, Ohio is also beautiful. There is so many stunning places in the US landscape-wise, really. Like, I guess it's a bit too touristic nowadays. What I also absolutely love is Sedona Canyon, or Sequoia Canyon, I guess it's called. I'm not sure if I recall that correctly. But that very popular photography canyon. That I was there twice, and the first time I was there it was so cute and romantic. And the second time I was there a few years ago, and it was horrible. Like, social media is a terrible drug for humanity. We were in a tour there, and beside it being incredibly crowded, the entire tour was literally just the guides walking through there and being like, hey guys, now you take your phone and you point in that angle and you put this setting in your phone and then you get the perfect post for Instagram. I was like, bitch, I'm not here for Instagram. I want to look at the canyon. Can we actually have a proper look at this? I'm not here to take a social media post. But it was horrible. You could never stand anywhere because the next group was immediately right behind you. So, yeah, a bit of a sad experience. Otherwise, that was also incredible. But I guess, as with everything that becomes touristic, that takes a bit of the charm away. And it is a bit sad that most of my casual or my regular viewers are not here anymore, because there is a big cult about bollards on my channel, and I have been starving my viewers with bollards. I've been placing very little bollards, and now where everybody is in bed, I place a lot of bollards, which I'm sure I'm gonna get blamed for the next time, but it is what it is. We have to finish this now, so we don't really have a choice. And yeah, I think especially in Twitch, it sucks so bad that you can't go back and edit your message. Because I tend to type too fast and also say very silly things in Twitch chat sometimes. And then afterwards I'm like, oh my god, you actually did send that, but then it's too late already. Here the question is even, why is this? Well, I guess so. Service, it's fine. We can actually bollard that the way we have it. I was questioning that these bollards are back here instead of here in the front, but I don't hate it because these bollards are probably ones that you can take out. So if there is some service to be done or repairs in here, they can still get in. So I guess it does make sense to have those back there and the other ones in the front. I mean, Teddy is probably not here anymore, but about mods, one of the things I can only say is how you could play the game without having bollards till this patch. Is a big question to me. I don't think anybody should play this game without bollards ever. And for the majority of this game's life, bollards were not a thing unless you were modding. Nowadays, they actually are a thing, so happy for all vanilla players and all actual players to have more bollards. But yes, that's a pretty new development. And welcome in Obelix, so I think the ad break started, so probably you cannot hear this, and I'm gonna say the same again once it's over. Not perfectly happy with my bollard placement here. This is a bit crooked. Actually, it's not that crooked. From this angle, that actually looks pretty alright. And I guess here we don't really need bollards. This is so small. Here I wouldn't even bother. But yeah, here we should close this off still. That looks a lot better. And then obviously in those areas we also still want to go in with planters, and we do have to bollard this one up here as well. Yeah, now the ad break is over, so now you can hear me, Obelix. Welcome in. Nice to see you, cutie here. You've been posting a lot of things on Hall of Fame. You also need to post some cute screenshots in either Suli's or my or somebody's Discord. Because still, as much as I love Hall of Fame, most people don't use Hall of Fame, and you're hiding all of your cute city building away on Hall of Fame instead of sharing it with everybody. Yeah, nice to see you here, mate. Sadly, you're coming pretty late because I think I'm in the last few minutes of my stream because I have to get up not too late tomorrow. So I think after we bollarded up this area and put in a few more planters, I will sadly have to find somebody to raid out to. But nice to see you here anyways. Oh, and I hate this. Why are we not online too? And I also think I'm being very reckless again. I don't think we have saved today. But I think we saved in the first 30 minutes. But I think our last save is... Yeah, we have not saved today. We're streaming for 3 hours now. I don't have autosave, and this is the first time I'm saving, so... Well, have fun somewhere else, but bye-bye from my chat. No, well, I don't have... Damn it, I don't have it open. Give me one moment, cuties. Alright, there we go. Sorry, just had to yeet out that nice gentleman mistaking Twitch for eBay or something. And how are you doing, Obelix? Nice to see you. Well, I mean, feel free to message him. But yeah, also very interesting to try to sell a Steam key in a chat of people that are all already playing the game. So, questionable. I think strategy-wise, you can do better than that gentleman. And actually here, I don't want to bollard everything up. It's a bit too boring. Here, we're actually going to move in a flat wall. And I guess we're probably going to get a bit of issues with manipulation mode, but we're trying. Well, I mean, I'm also guilty of generally playing somewhat late. So lately I've been a bit better than in the past, so really depends on the day for me. But yeah, generally I also often play fairly late. Well, okay, yeah, that's a lot later than me. Yeah, welcome in all of you cuties. Nice to see you here, Shock. And nice to see you here, Obelix. Yeah, I know, everybody wanted that Steam key, I guess. I mean, all of you cuties, feel free to reach out to the gentleman. I'm sure he can hook you up. I don't think my chat is the best platform for that, though. Actually, I think this is probably the first time I manually banned somebody in my chat. Generally, Zeribot takes care of everything. I think this was the first time pretty much where I had to do it, because usually Elgando is here if something is there. But then... Elgando has computer problems today, so actually first manual ban I had to do, I believe. But do you have Siri bot, Graham? Because for me, Siri bot just takes care. Okay, curious that you then still had to ban somebody. Yeah? Yes, the wall I just use is a net lane. That is correct, Obelix. There probably did. I mean, I wish we had more net lanes, and in general, I'm a bit tired of net lanes because they are a bit tricky with terrain. But then here we have flat terrain and it's a fine area, so yeah, that's just a net lane. In fact, this and the other, there is just 2 wall net lanes. I think both of these are beautiful. It's just very sad that we only have these 2 and not a few more of them. That fooled you, really? I would have actually like to see that then, because those art streamers seem horrible to me. But I mean, you heard. I'm not sure if you were here already, Gray, but I think you heard me say this before. You know that I pretty much had to rename only because of one of those word art scammers. Because. Well, I called one of those art scammers out in somebody else's chat, and then he went ahead and reported me for sexual username. So, I mean, the person that I called out also definitely was a real person. And depending on where in the world you live, if you scam somebody for 10 to 20 euros worth of art every day, then that's a solid living in some countries. Really? I mean, fair. I'm the last person to say don't buy art, but for me it's a bit like I'm literally a graphic designer, right? So I'm probably the last person that is gonna go out and buy art from anybody. I'll just make it myself if I need something. But I think especially people who have not had much contact with art scammers, yeah, you can be killable. Because like the scammer that I called out, I just called him out because the streamer I was watching also was entertaining that scammer a lot without realizing what he's dealing with. So I called the scammer out and then he reported me and then I had to change my nickname. Yeah, I agree. Ray is correct. Like, if I would want to buy art, then I would just try to find an artist. But generally, I think a lot of these people, even if they're real people, and yes, some of them will probably even send you art, I think generally it's just not their art, and it's ripped art from somebody else that they are selling on to people. So I don't think it ever makes sense to buy off of some random person who just joins in your chat. That just seems like asking to get ripped off, really. It's a bit different, right? Like if Gray, who's been in my channel for multiple months now, would tell me, hey, by the way, Booty, I also make art and I know you could need something, would you be interested, right? Like that's obviously very different than just a random person. But with just random people is so weird. And indeed, sadly no more Booty for me. Maybe again in future, but at least for the moment our Booty got clubbed, so now we're MayorCheeks. Ah, okay, actually that's curious. That's very curious. I mean, your emotes are cute. I have to admit my emotes are all horrible because I'm not a Twitch guy. I never really spent time on Twitch prior to starting to stream myself. I only spend time on Twitch watching esport tournaments. Like when I watched the Counter-Strike tournament, then I was on Twitch. But that's very different, right? You're not watching an actual Twitch streamer. You're watching a proper big broadcast with commentators and anything. So before I started streaming, I had very little clue about Twitch culture and vibes on Twitch. I think by now I get it a bit more, but I'm gonna keep my horrible boomer emotes, because my emotes are literally all just... you guys can detail my chat. That was my entire idea when I made my emotes, and is a silly idea, but is an idea that's gonna stay with us by now. And honestly, still need some optimizations, especially a lot of decal work here, because the decal work is not that fine yet, but this is starting to look really proper. One thing, because there's a few people in chat right now, and I actually really want a second opinion on something with this road. I'm really unsure about this road, right? Because if you look at this thing, obviously the positioning of this is a bit too central, but it's due to how I shrink everything so much. This obviously is supposed to be some kind of commercial slash rest stop slash truck stop. I think that functions fairly well, even though it's so close to the city. I think this street might be a bit of a problem, because this street makes it seem like this is connected to the rest of the city. And I don't really want it to be connected. So the longer I look at this street, the more I think to get this to look even more truck stop or truck stop like, we probably have to remove that street. What do you guys think, looking at this? Do you guys think it would look more truck stop-like without this? Because if that's a yes, then we will have to go ahead and heat that out. Two weeks to change the font color. Actually curious. Not necessary in a sense of the road is not necessary, or not necessary to demolish it. Because we don't need that road. That road is not like, is a important. Not necessary to remove it. I find that very curious. Because I think I find it necessary to remove the more I look at it. I'm unsure. I might just try it off stream to tear it off and then have a look at it afterwards. And thank you so much. And I'm gonna guess Curious Pain, but could also be Curious Pain. Who knows with that name? But thanks so much for the follow, Curious Pain. Unless Curious Pain is your real name, then gladly correct me, but I doubt it. But again, appreciate it. Thanks, mate. Yeah, we have other ways. Like, I don't see, this is our main connection. I actually don't. This road is not even, you cannot drive this road this way. This road is only allowed to be used by buses and service vehicles in this direction. Because if a service vehicle drives here, then the only way to turn into the city is either a long way around here, or a long way around here, and this is just a shortcut for buses pretty much. But I find it weird to bring the buses here. I mean, we have a lot of pedestrian access, right? We have all of these pedestrian passes here that I think bring very proper pedestrian access here. I really think this street just has to get yeeted. I'm a bit scared to do this on stream, but I'm about to end stream anyways, because I have to go to bed. So what we're gonna do here real quick, I'm just terraforming here, because otherwise this will all change terrain really harshly. I'm gonna save first, And then if I break it too much, I'm gonna end stream and fix it off stream. But yeah, I think deleting it is correct. But just as security, we're gonna log in a save here. And I think I'm above 100 gigabytes of save again. I desperately need to delete my saves again, as always, really. And let's see, I think this is probably gonna mess with our terrain here. Yeah, I knew it. It's fine, it's fine. We can manage to terraform that correctly. We're gonna leave the net lane for now. Obviously, we wanna get rid of that net lane eventually. But here, the net lane is actually quite nice for us, because it gives us a bit of an orientation till where we have to flatten. Because obviously here, we wanna flatten as deep as the net lane is, so we get our terrain here back properly. Gonna turn this very weak and go in here on the top as well a bit to show the flowers more. Yes, I know you cannot drive there anymore, but that's also what we want, so no more complaining, please. Okay, and now we are at the moment where we can heat out this net lane. I think this is gonna look a lot better. Obviously, I have to fill in this properly. This looks empty now, and the landscape is full. But yes, I think this looks a lot better, because it looks a lot more isolated now. It looks a lot more like this is its own area, which again, it is supposed to be just some kind of rest stop, truck stop. And deleting that was good. So thank you, Obelix, for telling me I should delete it, because I was a bit... I knew I should delete it. I have that many times where I knew I have to take a decision, but I struggle actually pushing the button and yeeting things out, and it helps me if there is somebody in chat who tells me, yeah, I'm right, it has to go, because then I kick myself in the ass and I actually delete it. And here, again, I think that looks a lot better. I'm gonna have to fix our bus routes, but with a look at the time, I think I'm just gonna sit you, or let you guys have a little road trip, and then see if there is somebody nice streaming that I can raid you guys out to. Hold on a second, my frames are dropping a bit. Whenever that happens, I just have to zoom out very far, and then my frames are a lot better again. And I just wanna find either a park ranger or a police officer. Oh, this is a park ranger. Nice. Because the park rangers take very long routes, so they are very well suited for a road trip. So I'm gonna send you cuties on a road trip with this nice park ranger, while I open up Twitch real quick and have a look at who is streaming, and then rate you guys out somewhere. And as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in and everything. If you feel like you want to catch more of my future streams, I don't stream on a schedule. So the safest way to catch my streams is generally if you join my Discord. If you want to join my Discord, just type !Discord in chat and it's gonna post you a link. And otherwise, a gigantic thank you to Moose for the raid today. And for everybody who followed today, there actually was quite a lot of follows for my standards happening today, so very much appreciated. And in general, thank you so much for tuning in and spending your evening with me. And looking at who is streaming, I actually think there is nobody streaming Cities 2 right now. That is uncommon, but that's not a problem. I'm gonna send you guys over to Andy, who's a Cities 1 player and is a very enjoyable Cities 1 player. I don't like playing Cities 1, I very much enjoy watching CS1. So I hope you guys have a nice time over there. But yeah, nobody else is playing Cities today. So Cities 1 it is. And with that, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and hope all of you cuties have an absolute wonderful evening and good night. And with that, see you cuties soon and enjoy your time over at Andy's. And with that, have a nice weekend guys. Bye bye. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon.